Hi, doll people. And boy, oh boy, do I have a video for you. So I just got off the phone with the lovely Tara, the mastermind behind the Queen of Squids, and we had such a good conversation. Honestly, it kind of became an interview of me, which I didn't intend for that to happen, but I, I, that's kind of what it happened. Sorry about that, Tara. But I think she enjoyed herself. I enjoyed myself. We talked about some stuff that I think that a lot of doll people really care about. I really enjoyed our conversation, and we even talked about these lovely babies right here you see in front of me. So, without any further ado, I give you Community Spotlight with Tara. Enjoy. So, the first thing I think I'll ask of you is to introduce yourself to the YouTube family, the people that don't know you by your name. They know you by Queen of Squids because that's what I've been shouting. So let them know who you are and kind of how long you've been collecting, what brought you to collecting and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. I go by Tara. I've been doll collecting maybe since about 2008. And I got into it because of ball jointed dolls, specifically the Fairyland Pookies, the really tiny ones. And I just loved them. There were pictures from the company, all the company shots of where they're like little tiny fairies like reaching up for berries and stuff. And I was just obsessed with
Yeah.
that whole aesthetic. It was like the most expensive thing I'd ever bought at that time, and I was like really anxious about spending that much money on a doll. And I thought, okay, I'm being ridiculous, and I did it anyways, and it just kind of snowballed.
I love that. I mean, to be fair, the amount of money I think most ball jointed doll collectors spend on any given doll, it is kind of crazy. It is kind of crazy. I know myself personally, I don't have like that limit that people have. So my spending has gotten insane.
Well, I kind of think I was talking to another doll collector. The pandemic sped things up. Before that, I feel like I had a little more of a restraint.
Mhm.
And then during the pandemic, things just all went to hell. And so since then, I've gathered a lot of dolls. Like before that, it was a small amount, but yeah, in the last 5, 6 years, so much.
You know, I actually think, yeah, we were both we around that time frame, I bought so many dolls. Lots of which that I just purchased because the secondhand market was so good during the pandemic for some reason. Like you could people were posting dolls that they normally wouldn't see for years. They
Yeah.
were putting them up during the pandemic, and I think it was because people were being laid off and they were scared financially.
Mhm.
Um, but I was buying doll. I think I was buying a doll like once a week, if not twice, because I know Denver Doll had me like it got to the point where I emailed the people at Denver Doll and they were like, "We know. We seen your last message."
They know who you are.
Yeah, they knew it. They knew who I was because I was buying up all their what are these dolls called? They look like babies.
Not the Hujos.
Not the Hujos. God, that takes me back to my junkie spot days. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Um, I can't think of their name, but you know, I'll put it in the video somewhere. But they're small and their aesthetic is very chibi like. They've got big old heads, they've got different facial expressions, and I actually think they might have been inspired by the baby face dolls. Uh, the baby face dolls, I think Mattel did the baby face dolls back in the day, and all those dolls had like these adorable little facial expressions. Everybody was different and everything. I kind of miss that. Nowadays, when we do doll lines, there's not a whole lot of diversity with facial sculpts. The screenings will be different, but it's like one sculpt. But yeah, what was I saying? Well,
We
I
were talking
can't.
about, well, I wanted to ask you about Junkie Spot. Were you on Junkie Spot back in the day? Like that was kind of my first experience of a forum going down that I was kind of invested in.
Hmm.
Den of Angels going down soon.
I'm not okay. Let me answer the first question. So, was I on the Junkie Spot forum? Yes and no. But I definitely made it was like a personality trait how much I was spending money on the Junkie Spot website at one point. Like, because, which is interesting because a couple of nights ago, I was looking for an 11, not 11, a 13, no, 23. I was looking for a 23 centimeter Obitsu body, and they are gone. It's so hard to find them. It's hard to
Mm,
find anything Obitsu anymore. And so I know that Obitsu is also like the Parabox. So I checked on there and everything is listed, but nothing's really for sale. It's kind of
yeah,
like a catalog. And
yeah,
it's like, what is going on? Because I do remember at one point, if you wanted Obitsu, you knew you had to go to the junkie spot because they
yeah.
had everything.
It was so nice.
It was nice. It was very accessible and it was very easy. Like if you were watching like an anime and you just knew you had to have this character in your house, you would go and get a bunch of parts and you would figure it out with Obitsu. It was really
Uh-huh.
nice. But now that kind of creativity has been sort of stunted because there are more design options, but now they're harder to get if you can find them, you know, which sucks. So yeah, Junkie Spot for me, it was amazing. I got a lot of Fujo, a lot of Obitsu. I think I got my first Pulip from there because they were selling Pulip at one
I
point.
didn't know they were selling Pula.
Yeah,
Didn't know.
they sold Pulip for a little bit. They also had sold I got her, but then I ended up selling her immediately because she showed up and I was like, this is not what I want. But Babobi, which is now
Oh,
Resin Soul, I believe.
uh-huh. Yep.
But back in the day they were called Babobi, and I got this little tiny green
Mm-hmm.
sprite. She had cute ears, but when she showed up, I was like, I don't know what to do with this, you know?
There were different aesthetic. I know that they are resin soul now, but I feel like the Bobobis were different aesthetic and
Hmm.
hard to pose.
They were hard to pose. And see, I think my biggest gripe with her for a minute there, I was trying to convince myself that I liked the smaller size. But yeah, I really was because they're adorable and they're accessible and they're cheaper. It's really
Uh-huh.
cute to find clothes for them. Like all of
Yep.
the boxes were kind of ticked, but my biggest gripe was that my hands are gigantic and they didn't feel substantial enough
Yeah.
in my hand.
They're too small
Um,
for hand, yeah.
and then they were clunky because
Mm.
I couldn't pose them in a way that felt maybe not seamless, but what's the word I'm looking for in a photo? So in a photo, whenever I pose my dolls, I'm trying to get them to feel
Organic.
organic. Yes, that's a perfect organic. And I couldn't get that. They just felt so rigid.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly right.
So did you purchase a whole lot from the junkie spot?
I don't know a whole lot, but yeah, Obitsu's at back in the day, it's kind of what I started customizing because well, I really started with Pookies and I was too scared to customize them. So like I got into some Obitsu's. Um, Not a whole lot. But then later, like almost at the end there, Junkie Spot started carrying Linois dolls. And that's my real passion. So I bought a lot of those from Junkie Spot, kind of
I
past the Obitsu days.
I missed I missed that moment. I actually wouldn't own a limois until the guy that you purchased. That was my first and only so far. And there's something really soft about their resin and really sweet about they just feel so unapologetically human, the facial sculpts.
They're so textured.
Yeah. And see, they feel good in your hand. You know what
Uh,
I mean?
yeah. Yeah, I didn't stay with the Pookies very long. They're just so tiny. And my passion is really making the clothes and stuff. And you have to not cut corners, but you have to use so many techniques to make tiny clothes that it's not analogous to real garment construction. And so I kind
Hmm.
of lost interest. But yeah, the bigger, I'm so happy that I have the limois doll that you painted. Thank you so much for selling him to me. He's one of my favorites.
No problem. No problem. Honestly, um, when I moved him along, I'm actually really happy he went to you because I did I didn't bond. I didn't bond with him in the way that I bonded with like the dolls. Their dolls in my collection, they're not going anywhere. Like my American Girl
Yeah,
dolls.
yeah.
Like I tried to sell this one and immediately took that post out. I was like, I can't get rid of my American Girl dolls. They're too special to me. But I'm so happy that you mentioned the garment construction with smaller dolls because I think that might be my issue with sewing for a smaller scale because you can sew a thing and it works, but how you feel about how you sewed a thing matters
Uh-huh.
because I'll finish it and it'll be cute and I'll take pictures of it, but then I feel like this is shit. You-
If it's like fraying on the inside because I can't serge it because it's too small, I just don't love it.
Yeah, yeah, and it like that's kind of where I am. If I get to a place where and what sucks is like the only time I can actually make something that's on a smaller scale and I feel good about its construction is if I hand sew it.
Uh, okay.
But then that takes all day
It takes
because
a long time.
my hand sewing if I hand sew something, now it's meticulous work. So I can't just get it done. I have to
Uh-huh.
sit there and make sure that my stitches are even, the tension
Uh-huh.
is good, you know, and then it just becomes a whole thing. And then so I've spent all day trying to make a Pookie Fee sized smock top. And then after I'm done, I'm like, I spent 18 hours on this.
Yes, exactly. And sometimes my hand sewing is all right, and sometimes it's really yeah.
hmm
And if I can't finish it like fairly quickly and I lose interest, then kind of the joy is gone. So I'm looking for the joy of making the thing. And like a long time ago, I was okay hand sewing. So I guess it kind of comes and goes maybe. Maybe it'll come back, but it hasn't yet. But right now I can't hand sew a thing. I need to use the sewing machine and get it done. And it needs to be
hmm
precise, a little more precise.
I
So
love that. One of the things that okay, speaking of precise, I have to show your work.
we have show
So
and tell here. Oh, my work. Oh.
yeah, this is your dress that you sent, and I am obsessed with it. What's funny is that I don't feel anxious when I tell you this. It's just me enjoying your work. But the moment I got this dress, I immediately took it off the doll and opened it up. I was like, how did she sew this? Because I like the finishes and everything. So I and it's you guys, now I'm talking to the YouTube people. You guys, this dress is so well made. Here.
We gotta take it off and turn it inside out. That's what I do when I get something.
So nice. And I just love how you've used tool because I am
Take it.
notoriously bad at using tool. So like the way you've used the tool here is just so sweet. And this girl was inspired by one of your
I
hybrids.
love that doll. I love her in this lighting and everything. It's so sweet. That's a mini fee body?
It's a mini fee, I think A-line, the one with the really bowed legs. Because I
Okay.
get them back in the day.
Cutie.
Yeah, there you go. Because back in the day, I also had another one. I think she had like chunkier legs and smaller feet. Moe.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is the other one, and this body was actually gifted to me, which is amazing.
That's wonderful. I love the doll community.
Yeah, actually, this head was gifted to me as well. Yeah, so she was a gift, and I painted her some time ago. And when I painted her, I wanted her to feel like she was kind of in the universe of a Betty Boop, but in this time frame. So the world of Betty Boop has come to a place where they've got more high definition and color, and she was actually in my mind, she would be a villain.
Oh, what a
Yeah,
fun concept. That's a lot. That's a lot behind the face up. And her hair, is it glued on?
yeah, this is glued. Oh, don't fall. This glued onto the doll's head. It wasn't rooted, but what I did was I took some tinseled purple yarn that was tearing my hands up whenever I knit or crocheted with it. And
That's
because I was like, I'm not gonna crochet with it anymore, I turned it into hair where I glued it onto the head haphazardly, like a pom-pom.
uh-huh.
And after I got it all on her head, it was all straggly and everything. I literally just took scissors to it until I got it all like this. So
Wow. Okay.
so it's nice and shaggy. And I kind of want it to feel organic. I didn't want it to be too like polished, you know? So
I haven't ever tried to glue it on like a pom-pom. You mean like with the strands are sticking out and not like horizontal around the head?
exactly. Like
Ah,
if these weren't wefts. So what
ah.
I did was, oh God, this is gonna sound so reckless, but I'll be authentic. What I did was I put the hot glue onto the doll's head and I took the yarn in uneven chunks and just glued it really tightly together until it was like a big old pom-pom mess. Like you couldn't even see her face. And then I just took scissors and started shaving. Because at one point in my mind, I was like, if I put it on like pom-pom, at some point I'll get it down to a place where it kind of looks like an afro. And then maybe I'll be happy. And I got it to an afro, and I was like, well, I can't see her ears. I just kept snipping. And that's how we got here.
Love that.
Um,
I like that process because I'm a little too meticulous sometimes. So I need to hear that it works if you just go at it sometimes.
what's funny is most of my stuff, okay, I can be meticulous. But I find that I'm meticulous when um, I'm going through something. Like
Hey, uh-huh.
if my heart is hurting about something and I want to be really intentional with my message and the colors that I choose and how this piece feels, then I'll be intentional. But most of my art process comes from being unencumbered. So it's so reckless and stupid. So reckless and stupid. But
Really wish we need to
yeah.
like meet up and do crafting time together because I think I would benefit so much from seeing how you work. I was so close to being like, maybe I should just drive down today because you're like less than 4 hours away. I just feel like we should do a crafting
Are we
day.
that close? I
Yeah, we're
I'm looking at that box. I still have the box in here. Just gonna look at the address. I didn't realize we were that close.
almost close enough for a day trip where I was like, maybe we should meet up somewhere and hang out and crochet something, or we could glue shit to doll heads.
I would actually love to do that. It would be so cool if we could some kind of way rope Andrea into it too.
Yeah. Isn't she
She's
close down to you?
people don't know this, but when that tornado hit, she was the first person to reach out to me and make sure I was okay. It was
Oh,
amazing. And
glad.
I never think people are even thinking about me. So the fact that she did that, and she didn't have to do that. Man, I love her. She's so cool.
She's she's first on my list of inspirations. I have a very short list. And she's
Uh,
just, I don't know, she's just so constant.
yeah, she feels like this ever-present force of creativity. And one of the things I love about her is that Andrea also kind of adopts this unencumbered, not making things too complex way
Yeah.
of like creating
Yep.
because my I used to at one point I wouldn't embrace this chaotic, haphazard creative gremlin that is my process because I felt like in order for something to be good, it had to be meticulous. But watching her before I even started my YouTube channel, she was one of the people, her and Amber Carl inspired me to start this YouTube channel. watching her just be like, I was just sewing and I was just gluing shit together and stabbing
Uh-huh.
dolls' heads off until I
Uh-huh.
figured out that I liked something. And I was
Yes.
like, yeah.
Yeah, that exact style of her work has really helped me many, many, many years. And I loved it when she was doing the videos. She was doing like a weekly video for a long time, years maybe. And it was right when I'd had my first kid. So I was kind of trapped at home a lot. And like I was just looking forward to Wednesday every week. I just couldn't wait to see what she was getting up to.
Hmm.
I just, I really love the hobby. It's a huge deal to me. And so like when she was so faithful posting every week, I freaking loved that.
Yeah.
It was a big deal.
I agree. That's exactly how I felt about uh, there were once upon a time ago. So for the new people that have come onto this channel, the people that are just finding doll collecting, once upon a time ago, YouTube was flooded with hobbyists. They weren't professionals, they weren't influencers. Nobody was on anybody's PR package for the most part. It was just people coming to YouTube saying, "Hey, I also like dolls, and here's all the shit that I made for these expensive dolls." And it was amazing. It felt like a real community. But Andrea and Picaro, there was someone else. What was her name? I'm forgetting her name, but she used to make these really, really intricate diorama for her dolls. The whole recast debate kind of ran her off. Uh, so I guess Anne Picaro and Andrea Dalzahoy, after watching them, it really did feel like a good night. You know how you have brunch? Like on movies, people have brunch once a week to kind of catch up.
Uh-huh.
That's what they felt like, and I did look forward to it.
That's how your videos feel to me, and it's really surreal to be able to chat with you because sometimes when I'm watching your videos and it's like so personable, you're so personable. And it's like I'm sitting there, I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And you know what else? And I'm just so happy to be talking to you right now.
Which is funny because I feel so dumb sometimes on this channel
No, you're lovely. You're just lovely in a
because
good way.
I really do feel okay. So in my doll space, and I feel like a lot of people have mentioned this in your doll space, you sort of feel disconnected from the world, which is the point. It's like escapism.
Okay.
So when I'm in here and I'm talking to my doll people, I guess this is where I feel I think I feel most authentic when I'm farting around with my doll stuff and my doll people, even more so than in, the real world. So when I'm talking on the camera, I guess I feel a bit silly sometimes because I'm just talking to a camera. But the feedback that I get from people and being able to talk to other people is kind of how the hobby comes together for me. Like I really do I love my doll community so much and doll people are so kind to me. I feel very like I'm not a very religious person, but I do feel very blessed at how kind people are to me and it's never lost. It's never lost on me. Never.
I've loved the doll community for that. Everyone's
Yeah.
nice. I mean, I know that people have bad experiences, and I wish that hadn't happened, but my experience with the doll community has been just overwhelmingly lovely. Lovely people, nice,
Yeah.
send you extra stuff if you order from them, chat with you. And so much help has come from the doll community. Like when I don't know how to do something and I can just ask and I almost wore my Monchi t-shirt.
You did.
I found one at Five Below, but I was like,
You should have worn it.
I should have for us.
Yeah, because
That dress.
well, this dress, I made this dress now. Okay, so I think I was talking to my bestie Summer, who's she's also a doll collector.
Hmm.
Um, I think her baby, well, she's not a baby anymore. She's grown up so quick and it's insane. Like every time I see her, I'm like, God, she's gotten so big. But I call her baby Claire because I've known her since she was itty bitty and a baby. And her daughter loves what's the Sanrio character that's purple, black, and white? Um, I'm blanking on their name. I'll put it in the video.
Omi?
That person.
I don't know if I'm saying it right, but
I don't know if I'm saying it right either, but I sewed this with
I
those
can see that.
colors.
Okay, it's her colors. Yeah.
hmm And then she stole this dress. She was like, "So this is actually mine, and it belongs to me now." I love this hybrid. Okay, so for context, doll people, this hybrid was made by Tera, and it's a Bibichichi, I think, medium Bibichichi on a Playline toner body. I'm actually blanking on the actual name for the body, but
It's a not a knockoff, but it's using the toner body, but the doll line was called uh Teen something. Oh, I can't remember. But they
yeah, it
went on
was Teen
clearance at
something.
Walmart for like $5 each, and I just got so many and went through a big phase. I love that body.
It's so sturdy.
Yeah.
It's so sturdy, and I actually don't mind. I actually don't mind that the wrists aren't articulated. I think I used to be a bit of an articulation snob at one point, but now as I've gotten older, the more restricted the doll is, the more charming it feels to me for some reason.
Exactly. I feel like we're going through this on the same timeline. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's how I'm feeling right now. And like it's fine if they don't have articulation because for a while definitely are articulation snob.
yeah.
So I feel that. They're called Pretty Girls Tween Scenes.
You found it? Yeah, nice.
I just remembered it. I can't use my phone because it's up there.
I love this doll, by the way. Thank you again for sending her. I just think she's so special. What's crazy is you also sent me I'm pointing up this way because all my munchies are currently above the American Girl dolls and just above. So he's sitting right here. You sent a Monchichi head that you had rigged up to be on a body, and it came with a wig and everything. Now, I am not brave enough to customize my Monchichi, but the fact that you did it, I was like, this is perfect. John, that's his name. John.
Uh-huh.
He's from
Doll jump,
Australia. Yeah,
doll
Doll
jump.
Junk. There you go.
Yeah.
I was blanking on his name. I was like, I know there's another person that I was
Bunch of
watching.
lyrics that just came out.
I
Yep.
was like, there's another person that I was watching, and he was also like customizing and stuff. John, yeah. And for Doll Junk, I believe he recently just got engaged. So, John, if you see this, which I don't think he watches my stuff, but if you do see this, congratulations.
I'll
Um,
I'll I'll poke him too. He's been so helpful to me. He always will like chime in with how to do something or a technique or just he has really good advice. I'm just so grateful that he sometimes swoops by.
he has insane ingenuity.
Yeah.
Like, there are lots of things that I picked up from him. Like,
Yeah.
I went through a terrible phase of ripping that neck peg out of Barbie dolls' necks by accident. It was just like every time I tried to take a head off, I'd rip out
Uh-huh.
that neck peg.
Uh-huh.
And he had a way to fix it, and his way still works to this day. I am still using acetone goop to fix things. Like I
Right.
am still using dish soap on things to make sure that the glue
Yeah.
molds properly, but it doesn't
Yes.
like and it's like because I seen him do it and do it so successfully,
He
it
shares his
really
technique.
right. It really broadened my horizon with what I
Uh-huh.
could do with my own collection, especially considering cobbling things together was always like a fun thing for me to
Yeah.
do, even
Yeah.
when I was a kid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The cobbling together aspect. Yeah, I've done so much more with that because the doll community was like helpful with techniques and advice and stuff. Yeah, just love it. I feel like we've kind of traveled a little bit of the same path there.
I love that. Okay, so now I have a question for you because I specifically knew that these two human beings would have to be in the video because I specifically want to ask you about your inspiration for hybrids because y'all, Tara's collection is the shit. Okay? Like I've seen so many of your dolls and just been like, I would have never, but it's beautiful. Last night I was scrolling through your Instagram and I came across a Minnie Mouse that you'd hybrided and she still had her gloved hands. I was like, this is so cute. I love your collection so much. So where does your inspiration come from?
Thrifting. I should just go around and just if I see something and I'll use that. And so the inspiration is random. Not exactly random, but like probably at that time when I made the Minnie Mouses, I lived in the Denver area, and the Denver area is insane for thrifting. I mean, I don't know if it still is. It's been like 6, 7 years. But I mean, I could go out on whatever my evening off and hit like 6 or 7 thrift stores in a row, and they were all so good. And I don't know what it is about the Denver area, but it is very doll heavy. And Denver doll was there, so it always made me think of dolls when I was in the area. But like I was finding vintage dolls just nonstop, and parts and toys nonstop. So I especially like thrifting stuff because, like you said, you didn't want to tear up your Monchichis to make a hybrid out of it. But those two that you pointed out there, the other parts of them were torn up or, chewed on. And so I
Mhm.
didn't feel any problem ripping their heads off and putting them on something else. So a lot of it's random. Sometimes I'll see something online and get so obsessive over like the thing that I will go and look it up on eBay and try and find one. But usually it's just like for a long time it was random, whatever I could find at the thrift store, and I was ripping things up.
So I love that you brought up the thrifting. So thrifting for me in my experience, I've done my fair amount of traveling around the country and Denver, Georgia, both Carolinas, Florida, Texas.
Okay.
Those areas, when it comes to thrifting and doll shit, it's like a gold mine for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, like I have found stuff that when you look and you see it, you try not to be too excited so they don't upcharge you. You try not to be too excited so they don't upcharge you at the cash register. You just go, how much is this? You try not to be too excited.
Yeah.
But
I want to take it out to the car, like
right, right.
rip it open.
But I
Sneak out with
remember,
it.
I mean, I specifically Georgia. Every time I've ever thrifted in Georgia, I have hit the fucking jackpot with some vintage. Um, no, well, I guess it wouldn't be vintage. It's more than antique at this point. Mattel dolls and stuff, and it's like, why these specific spots?
Yeah. I have
Like,
Georgia to do it, but oh, I'm so curious. Yeah,
like
why those spots?
what was in the? Now I have thought I've ruminated on that thought process
Huh?
because where I am now here in Kentucky as well, I don't go thrifting as much because I would be a broke person if I did, because thrifting out here is insane. Every time I hit a thrift store or a flea market out here, and there are flea markets and thrift stores like around me. I'm like right in a hot spot of them, so there are lots of options. If I go to any of them, I leave with such good stuff, like such good stuff. And what I find to be interesting is in all of the spots where there's really good doll finds, there's no doll community. Like not a hot spot of it, so to speak.
Oh.
Like up in New York City, if you reach out, you'll find your people because people are craving like that in-person community. So you go thrifting in these areas and you see all these dolls, but then so it's like doll people are out here, but where are they? There's no group, there's no club, there's nobody saying, "Hey, let's meet up at the library." And it's so interesting because you know they out here.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a community in Denver, but I wasn't super involved. I'm not very outgoing. I'm
You're
pretty
not.
introverted. So I know that there were people there, like at least ball jointed doll people. So yeah, I don't know why there were so many dolls. Or maybe, I don't know. So many dolls in Denver.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is kind of a lead in. Are you getting good hauls because your tastes are so broad? Because I know don't you have like Walker type dolls and bigger baby dolls and antique and vintage stuff?
Yeah.
Like, this is something I don't know anything about. And I'm really curious, how did you get into that? Because I kind of know the path that people would take to get into ball jointed dolls online, pictures and stuff. But how did you get into?
Okay. So that's a loaded question, but it's a loaded question that I am ready to dig into. Okay. Like I love when people ask this loaded question because it gives me a moment to kind of harken back to my childhood. I have been collecting dolls or been around dolls my entire life. My grandmother, who is both a seamstress and crocheter and knitter and all that stuff, also, she wouldn't call herself a doll collector, but she got doll magazines and she had dolls everywhere and she made for them. Um, so my crafting beginning, as far as being introduced to things, was early, and also the medium of dolls was early. And one of my childhood toys was actually this ball-headed baby doll, black baby doll that my grandmother thrifted. I took everywhere with a purple star-shaped tambourine,
Um,
everywhere. And alongside all of my Power Rangers and my Toy Story dolls, I had that doll and that purple tambourine. And that was my life. Like that was my life. That was my friend. Um, and so dolls have always been a part of my headspace, always. And I carried that all the way through childhood into my adulthood. And so I've had this concentrated interest into dolls this entire time, and I've seen dolls. So dolls that are now vintage or antiques, I saw them. I saw them. I seen them at the thrift stores. Also, I was born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville is another good place where I don't think people consider themselves doll collectors, because it's such a personal thing from the way people collect. But my grandma, you go into older women's houses, they've got all of their crafts, and dolls were somewhere around. Maybe they didn't have an entire house, but they had dolls in specific spaces. Dolls are so central to a lot of things that these older women would be interested in. And because I was around my grandmother constantly, I was around dolls constantly, and she had dolls. And so it was just this I was just being baked around all of these ideas, and it's a huge source of comfort. For some reason, being in the space of women makes me very comfortable, and I feel like women and dolls are kind of connected, but that's probably just my upbringing because the women that raised me were connected to dolls, you know. So whenever I see these older vintage dolls, my heart just melts.
mhm.
I can't
Uh-huh.
help it. Like something about their expression, something about their feel or their smell. Like a doll smelling like somebody's
Oh,
basement
oh
feels so good
yeah.
to me for some reason.
Okay. So thrifting is good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So and then so everything is so charming, everything is so welcoming,
Uh-huh.
and I can't help but gravitate towards all of these different kinds of dolls. And then also because I've got such a rudimentary interest in dolls, there's a lot of dolls that fall right into those spaces. Like, here, I'll give you an example. I love these, they're so fucking expensive, but they're artist sculpted dolls. I call them PVC dolls because they're made out of PVC plastic, and they're usually done in really small lots. One of my favorite brands is actually called the Amore dolls, and they don't have articulation. All of their ideals are vintage ideals. They have the stick body, They have these big old heads with big expressive eyes, and they have hair and a really nice outfit. And that's exactly what vintage dolls were. So all of those ideals are still there. It's just contemporary. So there was no way I was going to see that and not be like, well, I'm going to spend all my money on that. You know, would you like to see them? They're right
Yes.
here. Here,
Yeah,
I'll
please.
I'll grab an Amore doll and I'll grab a vintage doll and I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about.
Kind of cudgeling my brain here, and I think I remember which ones they are.
I have so many. Like during the pandemic, I bought so much. Jesus Christ, I bought so much. Okay, here.
You're not alone. No one's gonna judge. No one's gonna judge. We all did the same thing. I'm pretty sure
Yeah. All right.
during the pandemic. Okay, yeah.
So this girl, this is a vintage doll.
Okay.
She's dressed in more contemporary things. She's about she's about 10 inches. She's about 9 to 10 inches tall. Um, she's so sweet. This is her
That's
original paint
cute.
and everything, and
That's super.
original face. So these are the dolls I grew up around. These you would
Okay.
find these in Family Dollar.
Oh,
They're on the cheaper side. Some of them are high quality, some of them are cheap, depending on where they were manufactured. If you find these dolls and they've been manufactured in Bangkok, they're usually higher quality. I don't know why. It's like if they were manufactured in Thailand, they're a little bit higher quality than the ones that were manufactured in Beijing for some
huh,
reason. And I don't know
that's
why that is. Um, so this is an older doll. She's got that side glancing eyes. She's got a blown plastic body. Um, her head, okay, this is a little barbaric, but her head is on a ball.
yeah. I know that these are like a cheaper doll, but I love a head on a ball. You can't
Same.
beat the posing. I wish they all did it. They should all
Yeah.
have heads on a ball.
Yeah, it's perfect because it gives you the range of motion that you need,
That's right.
and you can get them off without tearing up your doll.
Yeah.
So this
That's
more
what I,
ex
yeah.
she's more expensive. She cost me about $250 a piece, these dolls. She's been repainted by me because I'm always going to repaint a doll. But she's got the same kind of qualities. Her head is also on a ball. Her body is blown plastic. It's just really high quality. And she's got the same points of articulation at the shoulders and at the hips. And so you see all of those vintage qualities in contemporary dolls, and they're so different, but there's so much about them that's so much alike that they have to live in my collection. They just have to. So they just have to. And I'm customizing them every 5 minutes and making them dresses and stuff. They have to come live here with me in my
The,
home.
the proportions look a little more Blythe-like than baby doll-like on
Yeah.
these.
And see, that's also something that's really interesting because the return to the basic aesthetic of a doll like this was through Blythe because the Amor doll artist herself or himself, I actually don't know the gender of the Amor doll person, but the brand owner, they customized Blythe dolls before they made their own dolls.
Okay.
So so a lot of those artists have created these dolls to exist in the world of Blythe, but because Blythe is an antique doll, they've returned back to these aesthetics, which Blythe was a part of. So it's really interesting watching this full circle
Hmm.
and understanding the circle. When I see these dolls, I'm interested because I see where they're coming from, you know.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So, and then okay, so this boy right here, he's one of my favorites. I had to pick him up. He's a hybrid. Hold up, let me show you his little tuft of hair. I love that.
That's very
So,
Joshy aesthetic. That's not the only doll you've done that on, right? That just
oh
looks very Joshy to me.
God, no, I do that. Like, if it's a bald-headed dog, because here's one of the things, I do like a wig. I do. But I do like my dolls bald-headed sometimes. I think they're so cute. And like to kind of highlight that, the little tuft of hair, I think I seen a book. It might have been, was it it might have been animation, or maybe it was a book, but it was a Chinese baby, and they had a tuft of hair. And I was like, that's so adorable.
That's it.
So
It
I've been,
permanently altered your.
yep, I was like, that's so adorable. But this artist right here, I don't know how they would pronounce their name. I actually don't know the context of their name, but it's MZZM. So like M's or something. That that artist also returned back to like basic articulation and stuff with these dolls. Now this is a hybrid.
Yeah, what body is that?
He's on a, what are those dolls called? Hold up. They might have his name. They kind of bombed for some reason, but they were so cute to me. Let me just have a look, see at his back, see if the name is there.
It
Were they
bombed.
called Cave Club?
Cave Club. Yeah.
Cave Club.
Yeah. I was really excited about those. The torsos are too small for me, but like they're so cute. I felt like they were well sculpted. And the hands are great.
The hands are great. They're well sculpted. I actually really love the sculpt of their big old feet.
Yeah. And I wanted them to have big feet. Yeah, I wish some more dolls had that. It's cute.
Me too.
Big
I think
flat
it
feet.
big flat feet. I think it like it evens them out somehow. Um, but yeah, this artist customized Blythe dolls before they had their own brand. And so I don't know what's going on in the other countries as far as like how their doll community is moving, but it's so interesting seeing the juxtaposition because here in America, the way our doll community is moving is everything is moving so quickly. Things come in and they get discontinued so fast. But there has from an American's perspective, looking over there, it seemed like there's this constant slow simmer of artists being really interested in classical aesthetics.
Huh.
And because they have these classical ideals, when they go to make their dolls, it's really classical. Like I feel like you still see it with Volks too. Like Volks is still making dolls that you would think would would be in somebody's cabinet. Like they look
Uh-huh.
like pieces, like the way people are afraid of them now, but bisque dolls.
Uh-huh.
Like
A very
like the
dolly aesthetic.
right, it's very doll aesthetic. And people now would describe that as being Lolita. But before Lolita was popularized, that was just what a doll looked like. Or what a kid looked like, and because a lot of dolls look like kids, that's what the doll looked like, you know. So, did I answer the question?
I think so. How you got into dolls itself. I just don't know anything about like a baby dolls or vintage baby dolls. Like I barely know anything about vintage dolls at all. It's just not the path that I got into dolls on, but like it's slowly spreading. Like I didn't understand Blythe and I don't know much about Blythe, but they're such a juggernaut. And like I felt like I didn't like them for so long. And as soon as I found one at the thrift store, and it wasn't an original one, but just one of, like the AliExpress type with the A-zone bodies. And I
Hmm.
like held her and I was like, oh,
Hmm.
okay, like the vintage big eyes kind of start to get it. And I'm kind of starting to branch out slowly, whereas before I just wasn't interested in a lot of different stuff. So, I mean, that's why I sent you all the 18-inch doll stuff. I just don't have any interest in them and find it fascinating that like there's a slow creep. Like you might start out with 10-inch baby doll and then now
Uh-huh.
you're interested in everything. Like you have a little bit of everything.
Well, I do love dolls, but Blythe dolls, I've mentioned this, I think, on the channel before. I know I've mentioned it to my close doll friends in person, but I thought Blythe was ugly as fuck. I
Me
really
too.
did. I was like, this bitch is ugly.
Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't until I would go to, I think I went to a doll show, or maybe it was No, it wasn't a doll show. A doll friend of mine, she let me hold one of her Blythe dolls. Her Blythe doll that had been customized by Splatter Girl, I think is her name.
Uh-huh, Splatter Girl UK.
Her dolls are amazing. And I held her and I remember thinking, uh
Oh no.
and the girlfriend that I'm talking about in particular, she's no longer on social media. It was fucking up her mental health, so she's not on there. But she has a taste. Her taste is very clean, very frilly, uh
Okay.
high quality, decadent. Like when she goes and purchases clothes for her dolls, it's expensive, but it's insane quality. And that's how she dresses all of her dolls.
Okay,
So
so
when
maybe
I'm
that.
Yeah, so I'm holding her already super expensive Blythe custom, and she's got her dressed like this doll is literal royalty. I was like, uh, I was like, I think I get it. I think I get it. And then the pulling the of the chords and all those charms were super pretty and they had meaning and just how
Um,
she would we walked around the city that day and she was posing her on things and just how nice it was to have a companion. And I
yeah,
was like, I get it.
nice. Yeah, you could put them in a bag.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Isn't it
was like, I
funny
get it.
how like the a doll being dressed can change the whole doll. Like I was really bad about completely outfitting my dolls for so long because I was just like, oh, I'm interested in making this shirt. And then I would kind of leave whatever. But if a doll is like completely dressed, it just changes everything, especially if it's an expensive outfit and they have shoes on. I'm like suddenly and like I was really bad about it until I don't even know how many years ago Andrea sent me a ton of clothes because she decided she didn't really want to be into 1/3 scale dolls, and she had a ton of clothes that was like not I don't want to say a wardrobe, but like a big variety and selection.
Mhm.
And that like totally changed my whole doll collecting experience. Like for the first time, I had a lot of options, whereas before I was like, I just made a shirt here, pants there, a dress here. But now I had so much clothes, and all of my dolls were suddenly completely dressed to the nines and
Mhm.
beautiful. And I was like, oh, this is a whole nother layer. I was so grateful for that. I don't know if I would have ever got there on my own because I'm very slow making things, just one
Mhm.
thing at a time here and there. But yeah, wow, the clothes make such a big difference. And I'm kind of sorry that you sold me your Limwa doll because I'm like, do you ever feel like you want him back? Do you see him in a certain outfit and you're like, oh, wait, well, okay, that works differently?
Not at
BJ's
all.
especially like that for me.
Not at all. Not at all. Because he did. This is gonna sound weird. Some dolls come through here, but they don't belong to me. And I immediately know, like they're like they come through, and it's like when I'm trying to bond with them, something about them or the way I'm styling them or where I am in life at that moment, I'll be like, I'm happy you're here, but this is not my doll. Like this
Yep,
doll belongs to somebody else.
yep.
And that was the case with him. He came in, he was such a sweetheart. He painted beautifully. I enjoyed how heavy he was in my hands. But I was like, this doll does not belong to me.
I'm gonna go get him out just so everyone knows what we're talking about.
Oh, you made it one of the heads.
Yeah.
He's so cute.
So when I started making these hats, I suddenly understood like why you make so many crochet hats. I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh, the joy of making a hat, especially a crochet hat. I don't know, because it kind of holds its shape. I don't know.
hmm
But
It,
yeah, I
it's
love
like it's its own living like entity. Oh my God, here. Now, what's funny, and I was thinking about this when I was coming on here, is your boy there. This is who I was trying to make him.
okay.
So this is oh God, what is his name? What is his name? I've named him Hideki. But this kid is a Oh God, I'm blanking on the sculpt and company name. I'll put it on the screen because I forget. But this guy is so different. But when I got him, when I was introduced to him, and I was actually introduced to this sculpt through a commissioner. They sent me their doll to paint. And I remember painting their doll and just being like, I have got to get one of these. Like the inside of his head sculpt is a heart. Oh my God.
Oh, just the whole feel is different. He looks
Yeah,
sweeter or something.
he is. He doesn't have facial hair.
Oh, well, and that's what I love about this guy.
Yeah.
You just so rarely see an MSD with facial hair. I'm so happy that you did it, and especially on this doll. I love this doll, and this is kind of why I really want to send you this one to paint.
Yes. I'm so excited to paint him actually. So excited.
I can't wait. I'm sorry that it's taking me so long, but I am really struggling with the white cast that's going on his resin. I don't even know. I don't know
No,
what I'm going to try next.
listen, you take your time. I listen. Okay, so for context for the YouTube people, Tara has commissioned me. I mentioned that in the box opening video. She commissioned me. She's one of the lovely people that thought my work was worth a damn to pay for it. So she commissioned me, and we're talking about her commission slot right now. Listen, I have had people that have purchased a commission slot from me, and it took them a year and a half to figure out what doll that they wanted to send me and how they want it to be painted. It is okay.
I'm not
Okay.
going to keep you hanging that long, but I'm glad that you're flexible. Thank you so much. I can't
Yes.
wait though. This is like my favorite face up, and it's one. I want more of them.
I
So
love that. Like, there's actually the speaking of the person where it's been like maybe a year and a half. They just texted me and sent me the headset. They're ready for me to pay now. But they did a trade with me. That's how I got one of my smart dollies. And she sent
nice.
the smart doll, but didn't send the heads. And I was like, where are the heads at? And she was like, I haven't decided yet. But and so I always tell people because face up work or any kind of commission based work that I do isn't it's not my bread and butter. It's really just me trying to be a part of my community. Um, and give people the opportunity because people do come into my DMs and they say really amazing things to me about just dumb stuff that I'm doing, and I just think it's really sweet. And I have gotten people asking me, "Are you taking commissions? How much is it? Would you be willing to?" And it's like, "Yes, I have no problem doing all that. I'm already being creative anyway." And then I also feel like some of my biggest breakthroughs as far as getting good at something has come from other people suggesting an aesthetic
Good.
that I'd never tried. So and then also because I'm just a hobbyist, nothing's on a schedule. Nothing's on a schedule. You
That's
know, so if you feel like you need to take a moment to ruminate, you feel like you need to take a moment to get all the parts. I have a friend where I do his Blythe dolls, and he'll be like, I'm ready to have a doll done, but I have eyes coming in and this coming in. Take your time. I'm never going to rush somebody. Like
Thank
I'm just
you.
not.
Thank you so much. It helps a lot. And if the situation changes for you and it does become more important or you start, needing the money off of it, I will definitely be a little more in a rush. Also, I was wondering, the other head that I want you to face up is the
Is
Rowan. Can I just send you the whole doll so you can kind of play with her? And then, like, I know the shipping is a little more. I'll pay for the shipping. But would you be like weirded out by that? Because I feel like your photographs and stuff, if you wanted to photograph your work, maybe I should just send you the whole.
you can send the whole doll. And do you mind me sealing the whole doll? Because usually when I seal a face up, I'll seal the entire doll too, so she doesn't like green or yellow. Is that
Oh,
something you want?
yeah.
Yeah. It's free of
If
charge. It's not extra. It's just something
okay,
that I do. Like if you send me your whole doll, I'm
does it help?
probably going to seal your whole doll. It does help as far as like preventing uneven yellowing.
Okay, I
Like I
need
had
that.
Yeah, like I had a woman send me I had a Summerbird BJD and the sculpt name was Viola.
Uh-huh.
She's in a very deep chocolatey resin
Hmm.
color. Love that resin color, but it will green and bad. Like
Yeah.
it turns
Uh,
green. So if somebody sends me their whole doll, this is the first time I think I've actually said it to anybody. But if somebody sends me their whole doll, which it doesn't happen often, but if they send me their whole doll, when they get it back, they're usually like, "Oh, you sealed the doll." And I'm like, "Yeah, I did. You're welcome." Because sometimes the head won't yellow, but then when you take that face up off and you
uh-huh.
realize your entire doll is unevenly yellowed. So
Yeah.
if you seal the whole doll, it could, especially if you use that UV resistant, like I like to use,
Uh-huh.
it'll give you more longevity, especially if the doll is like a tan
That's what
or
I
a
need.
really deep color. Yeah. The
I've been so
only
unlucky with tan resins.
A lot of our supplies are Japanese
Mhm.
that we use. Like the standards have been set by the Japanese, which I think is fine. Their products are really good, but something that they have not put enough effort into is actually how those products work with darker colors. Because a lot of their aesthetics that they really enjoy are very light. Like they love that light color of skin and everything, which is fine. It is beautiful. But when they start doing darker colors, they start running into issues because those issues don't show up on lighter skin tones. Um,
Yeah.
so because I'm currently painting some dolls for one of my good friends named Jazz. Oh God, that woman can sew her ass off. Ugh. She sews so amazingly. She sent me a lot of her dolls. Most of her dolls are deep, deep, deep resin colors, and the face-ups take longer to build the color because if you
Uh-huh.
just blast it with too much sealant, the color is going to get distorted and the doll
Uh-huh.
is going to forever look ashy.
Uh-huh.
So it's just a slower process. It takes more care and it takes more color theory. Like you've got to understand your color theory because certain reds just make the darker skin tones also look cold. Like you
Mhm.
need a balance is what I'm trying to say.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So but whenever I see a tan, one of my first moves is to seal it because I don't want it to turn green.
I just didn't know if it worked. Like, I'm really glad, I'm relieved to hear that it worked because I just had disastrous greening on some of my darker tan dolls. And I'm like, I didn't do anything. I didn't take them outside, those particular ones. Like, they're in glass cases. They're not in the sun. These are kind of on a table in front of a window right now, which is really unusual. But like, I just felt like so blindsided that they greened unevenly. And it's just like, I know that there's no real way for the creators to know how the resin will hold up in 5 years without waiting 5 years. And you can't really do that uh,
Mhm.
in the economy. You know, you got to kind of get things going and get things done. But oh, it's so frustrating to have a doll and it's just like mottled green.
Yeah. See, I mean, there are things you can do to get in the way of the greening. I have noticed that humidity makes a huge deal.
Really?
Like, people that live like in places that are more tropical, I have seen them come to me specific, like it's just something that I've noticed. Like a lot of people that for some reason for a minute there was like a year where a bunch of people was from Florida specifically was commissioning me and they were having issues with spots of greening. And I was
Huh.
like, that's a really tropical place, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So I wonder if humidity has something to do with it. A lot of the issues that I saw up in the north had more to do with the actual sealants ruining the resin, like eating at it because of the cool temperatures. So like the reaction from certain sealants on top of certain like resins, like I remember there was a doll that I had customized. Now it recently blizzard, but the temperature and the index was fine for me to spray. spray,
Uh-huh.
and then I immediately took that resin off because it started discoloring. And I had to see if it was the sealant or if it was the doll, and it was the doll. I had to pay that.
Oh my God.
You
What
know,
doll was it? Was
it
it
was
vinyl?
no, it wasn't vinyl. This doll was no, I guess it probably was vinyl. Do you remember? Have you ever heard of toffee dolls?
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
toffee doll.
Oh.
So I guess that was kind of like because that's PVC. That was PVC. So something in that sealant that I was using at the time, and it wasn't Mr. Super Clear, um, had fucked up her doll, and I had to
Oh.
pay her for it. I still ended up going forward with the commission. We changed what she wanted. She seems happy with what we were able to do, but I did fuck up her doll. So
But I don't feel like that's your fault. And so it sucks that you carry so much of the, I don't know what, not danger, but like you can't insure your work, but you're taking on a lot of risk to give
mhm.
somebody a service. I hate it when a face up goes wrong and I'm just like, well, I don't want you to pay for it because you were doing me a service in the first place. Now it went wrong and now you have to do it over again or you want to do it over again, but I feel like that's not fair. Like if I'm paying for a service, I almost feel like I need to pay for it twice because I don't know, you're taking on so much risk and it's not your fault if
she
materials mix in that way, in my opinion. It's just not.
she okay, so
I'm not saying
context.
she did anything wrong. I'm sorry. I'm just saying you
No,
take
no,
on a
no.
lot with people's expensive dolls and
Yes, you do. You do. But okay, so she didn't demand that I pay for anything. I was the one that sent her that PayPal
yeah.
refund. And she was like,
Oh.
why'd you do that before I could actually explain what was happening? Because I felt like I fucked up her doll.
Yeah, I
You
bet
know?
it felt awful. I just can't imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we actually had a conversation. She was very graceful. She was very sweet. She was like, should I send this back? I was like, no, just keep it because this is a lesson learned. And this was early in my commissioning taking days where I made like a very hard boundary where I'm not going to be experimenting with other people's shit. Like when I
Yeah.
experiment, it's going to be on my stuff. That
Fair.
way I know what I'm doing. I have a
Uh-huh.
process. But that was one of those things that I did in the beginning before I started understanding my process, understanding what people want when they say certain things and how I can connect that with what I'm doing. So I use different kinds of sealants on my dolls because I want to see the different finishes and stuff.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But when it comes to commissioning, people commissioning me, I use the things that they're used to. Like people have gotten used to that really smooth feeling of Mr. Super Clear.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Super Clear has become a standard.
Uh-huh.
So I use Mr. Super Clear along with other high quality like Volk sealants and stuff. But when it comes to my dolls, I experiment because I do want to see different finishes. I do want to continue to be creative. Um, so whenever somebody says, I seen your doll and they look this way and I want that, I immediately go into, okay, so the sealant here is not the standard.
Uh-huh.
If you want that, I just want you to know, like I'm giving them disclaimers and stuff
Uh-huh. Good.
because, because I want people to know what they're getting.
Yeah.
I ran into an issue during the pandemic where a commissioner that I had gotten to know in person at the local doll shows that we were all meeting up at, where I did some work for them and they just weren't happy. They had me do some work. Well, I'm looking over here because I have one of my Walker dolls. It's, the doll that she wanted me to work on was a Walker doll, and it was old. And we were supposed to repaint the doll and then do wig, like a nice high quality wig. I feel like there was some misunderstanding. Her doll is older than the both of us. Okay, the doll is old. And one of the biggest defects with dolls that old is when you erase their factory paint, they are stained.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
They are stained. So the doll's eyebrows were really low in the face above the eye. Well, above the eye well. So there was a stain, like a faint. It was faint, but you could still see it. And
Uh-huh.
because it was still there, I incorporated it into the face up as eye lines to
Oh,
maybe
that's
look like, yeah. And then if there are like blemishes or even indentations in certain plastics, I'll make them look like freckles, you know, just to kind of like, because my objective is to give the doll new life, not necessarily to change it.
hmm
So that's what I did. And then the wigs that come in that size are by Monique Gold. And
Uh-huh.
Monique Gold wigs at the time, they feel it's soft. It feels like a feather
Uh-huh.
almost. So that wig and the way that those wigs are built is that Monique, if you have a wig and the wig is really long, the hairs, they'll do one track that's really long, and then underneath that one, there'll be a whole bunch of tracks that are shorter to fill the
Yeah.
wig out.
Uh-huh.
So that was one of the wigs. She got the doll and was pissed. She was like, "This is not what we discussed. She's stained, you know. The wig is not high quality because she was
Oh,
expecting like a BJD
that's
wig,
crushing.
you
Yeah.
know."
I mean,
And I
Monique.
understood I understood what she was coming from. She ultimately got something that she wasn't expecting. So when I explained to her, I was like, the doll is older than the both of us. That stain cannot be removed. At least it will probably require a different service that I'm not even sure I can do. Um, what I was supposed to do was give breathe new life into her. Um, but she just wasn't happy. She wasn't happy. And I think she got really upset because she thought I was being condescending.
Oh,
She she thought I was being
imagine.
condescending. No,
You have
she
a really great like manner. I just can't imagine. Must have just hit her wrong. I
well,
can't imagine you sounding condescending.
I'm gonna be transparent. Um, when she started getting pissy, so did I. Like I'm human too. Like I definitely my tone did change. It did change. I wasn't what I'm right now wasn't necessarily the case with her. And it did blindside her because people do know me to be this, you know. Because this is who I am. But I was at work and she had kept hitting me with these long text messages that I wasn't responding to fast enough for her because I'm at work.
Oh,
And then she had did a dispute with PayPal, had messed up my PayPal, because if the dispute is if it's like a person feels like they didn't get what they got and the whole transaction was like a seller transaction, they lock your account.
uh-huh.
Um, so you can't move funds, and that was kind of annoying because uh um I was trying to move funds over for a doll purchase or something that I was doing, and that was getting messed up and they couldn't get their money. And I was like, why can't you get your money? Then that's when I realized, oh, they've locked it. Why'd they lock it? Then they had opened up a case. And then so I was trying to talk to her so she could go and tell PayPal that I will just give her her money back if she wants it. Like, please, like, unlock my stuff. It was just a
Yeah.
back and forth. And then she got even more pissed because I had mentioned it in a video. I didn't mention her, but I did. I was like, oh God, people are annoying. Like, I think I said something in passing. And then she came back to me and was like, oh God, you're gonna sick your entire community on me. I was like, what community? They don't even know your name. Like,
Oh, that's
so
rough.
it was just a
That was
shit
just
show.
yeah, it was just like a tragedy of errors, just a comedy of errors. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, people just gotta go a little slower. You gotta just wait for someone to respond sometimes.
yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
okay
it's
though.
another risk that you take on. Like you're giving a service and you want to do a service, but yeah, just the aggravation of dealing customer service, I guess, on top of everything else.
Which, you know what? I do feel like maybe if I weren't at work, maybe the conversation could have gone better. Because when she said that she felt I was being condescending, I think she felt that way because while she was writing paragraphs, I was like responding in small, short sentences, and it would take me
Yeah,
like 2 or 3 hours before I would even
yeah,
respond.
yeah.
So I get that. And then she did make a point. Like I'm a pretty fair person and I can admit when I'm wrong. She did make a point where she was like, if there was a stain, I would have liked to have known before you started the work. And I was like, you know what, you're right. That is my bad. I should have documented it and I should have sent you pictures and been like, okay, what do you want to do with this? You're right. So you just I guess you just live and you learn. Because I
Yeah.
do that now. Like when people get their stuff in, so when you send your dolls, one of the first pieces of communication is that I've received your dolls, and then you'll get pictures of what your dolls look like upon arrival. That way, if there is something or if something got damaged in transit, we can figure all that stuff out before we move on to me actually working with your dolls. So, like I had somebody that sent me a doll and they wanted me to repaint it because they had a falling out with an artist that had painted it. And they was like, I want my doll, but I hate this fucking face up. And I was like, oh no. So you want me to erase it? They was like, yeah, I don't even want to touch it. I want you to do it. And they paid for the cleaning fee. So I get the doll and I had to text them and be like, um, I don't know what paint that other doll artists use, but your doll is stained to hell.
Oh no.
And they were pissed, not with me, but they were just pissed about the situation because they were
Oh,
trying to distance the doll away from the artist that they had this terrible situation with. Um, oh God, that story was actually crazy. They actually told me what, like, they actually told, I'm gonna cut this out of the video.
yeah, we gotta cut all of this.
I'm,
But it's
I'm gonna
funny
cut
we
something.
went from like the doll community is lovely to but some shit goes down.
So, okay, I'm gonna cut this out, but
Oh,
crazy.
that's awful. And now it's stained into her doll. I mean,
Yeah.
well, so my other question is like what resin, like what was the doll? Is this doxing too much to ask what doll it was? Like,
No, because it's a pretty common doll. It was a Minifee Chloe.
okay.
And it's like, God, I
So
don't.
not like I've had really rare like Angel's doll tan resin really stained easier. So but Fairyland, that doesn't stain like it's not like the resin's fault.
Exactly. Like I feel like it was just, so you can stain any doll if you don't take some certain steps to
Yeah.
prevent that. Like
Yeah.
I have a two, I have a two-layer seal method that I use where I seal the doll. Like when I get the doll, I make sure the doll is clean and I wipe it down with cotton cloth to gather any oils and get rid of debris. First seal. And after that seals for 24 hours, I make sure there's no more dust or any like little tiny hairs. And then I seal again before I work on someone's doll because I never want them to erase my work and be like, you stained my doll, you know? So
Yeah.
that's what I do. The only time I don't do that is I don't do that with my dolls. I don't do that with my dolls, and I don't do it with any dolls that were mine that I intended to keep, but then I want to sell. But Blythe dolls, I do it. Blythe, especially because if you sculpt a darker skinned Blythe, you've got to prime it again because you can't get rid of those like ashy spots. So you've got to prime it, and then after you prime it, then I seal again, and then I start working. So I feel like just that extra layer, it really does make a big difference in my opinion.
I'm grateful that you have all this experience. So now I get the benefit of all your experience.
Yeah. And then you also get a lifetime warranty. I tell all the doll people that commission me, if I worked on it and it gets fucked up, send it back. I will fix it. I will fix it. Yeah, especially if you're the original owner. I take pictures of everything I work on, so I remember. I've got the pictures and everything, so I have no problem. And I stand by the work too. I
One of
do.
my questions on here is like, what kind of notes do you take? Because I know at some point you mentioned you had a crochet journal. So like, do you keep notes on face ups or do you just go by the photos?
So I do I go no. No. Right now, I think what I do is I use the photo. I'm sorry. I use the photo as a reference, and then everything else is just
Just remember it.
I don't know if God, I wish I were more precise because this is a good question for being for like for precision. So if it's really specific, because a lot of here lately, here lately, people have been coming to me and they've been saying, just do something.
Uh-huh. Artist.
Those, yeah, the artist choice, those commissioners are amazing because it means I could just paint the doll and it'll be okay. But whenever I get something specific, like somebody approached me recently, they want a Moana doll. Have you seen the movie Moana?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I have a
Uh,
10-year-old girl.
oh, okay. Okay, so Moana's my favorite. And you know the island of Tefiti.
Uh-huh.
She's green with all the moss. They want me to make a doll like that. And I am so excited. I am so excited. You have no idea. So they want me to do that. That's a very specific aesthetic
Uh-huh.
because it's not my idea. It's not my birth child, like my mind child. It's a specific idea. Now, with that, the way that I'm going to go about with that is there's a few things that I need to test out, and I'm going to test it out on some well, they're not junk heads. I just don't like them. I just don't like them. So I keep those heads around and I test on those.
You with, yeah.
And then also, so usually those sort of, bless you, those those kind of projects take longer because I will
Uh-huh.
spend
Oh
a
yeah.
week just trial and error
You
before I
got a
actually
plan.
touch their doll.
Yeah.
So if it's something specific like that, it'll just take me longer, and then I don't necessarily journal it. It's more like I'll take pictures. And they go on my
Uh-huh.
Flickr, they're just not public, they're
Uh-huh.
private, and it's so that I can refer to the picture. Um, so it's different. I guess my process with those kind of projects, the visual projects and like garment making is different because when I move towards any kind of garment making, I hate math, but I become a fucking mathematician. You know, like I hate math, but I will be like, right. So this needs to be exactly 2 centimeters and a half.
Hmm.
You know,
Uh-huh.
and I need
Uh-huh.
exactly a yard and a quarter inch. You know,
Yep.
so
Yarded 1/16 of an inch.
right.
Precisely. Yeah.
Precisely, precisely. And I must backstitch exactly 3 tacks or I'm going to ruin the entire project. You know?
Yeah, I'm like really precise with sewing patterns, but I don't take good enough notes. So if I come back to it, like if I can't just remember exactly how I backstitched, my pattern is very precise and I put the seam allowances on the paper and stuff, but like I need to take better notes. I need to start doing more notes and like some crochet projects. I think, if I come back to it, while I'm doing it, if I do 10 in a row, I'm like, oh, I remember this. I'm never going to forget this. And then a month later, I don't remember how many, stitches I started with. So I need to take better notes. I just need to like practice it, I guess.
Would you just like to see my binder?
Yes.
Okay. Give me just
Your
a sec. I
crochet
don't
binder?
I have a crochet well, it's probably more of a notebook, but my oh okay, so it's about to get real. Let me just show you. It's kind of chaotic, but I'll show you. Give me a second.
Like
Okay.
multiple ones.
Oh God, yeah. Um, which I get that from my mom. She
Hmm.
loved herself some books. So the first thing I'm gonna mention this in this video specifically, and this is for the viewer for the most part, but
Are they
I
still with us?
I hope so. This
It's
is
upside.
upside down, but this book
Oh,
is my favorite piece of physical media that I own in my entire home.
huh.
I love this book. It is okay, so it's 1,000 Japanese knitting and crochet stitches, the ultimate Bible for needlecraft enthusiasts. And my God, is that title not spot on? Um, I believe this is a second edition print. Um, I don't think that matters because I've seen the first one and it's pretty much the same stuff. But when people ask me, because sometimes people, when they come and they're new crocheters and they're asking me how I'm just making these things up, I did not create crochet. Okay, like I'm not just making this stuff up. This is my favorite book, and it's
Oh,
got all of
that's
our stitch. Well, I just showed a shit ton of patterns. Oh my god! But these are the patterns. The patterns are in this book.
oh,
It's just here. I'll show
wow.
you that one. I'll show you one pattern.
Wow. Okay. It's just diagrams. So you can read diagrams?
Oh god, yes. Because this is how my grandmother did everything. You know, she all of her crochet books and everything, when they had a free pattern, they had like a whole diagnostic explaining of the pattern, but a lot of them were diagrams because they also wanted people of different languages to be able to still use the pattern. So
Yeah.
so having a diagram makes it a lot easier. As long as you understand what these visual symbols mean, you can do anything. Um, so because the first time I seen this, it was in Japanese. It was written in Japanese the first time I seen this. And another friend of mine actually showed me hers that was in Japanese, but because the pattern is a diagram, you could still use it.
Just love that that exists. I can't
Yeah.
read them though. I keep trying and it doesn't make sense to me yet. But it
You know,
sounds like I need to because that book looks awesome.
if we hang out for more than 4 hours, I promise you, I could
Will
teach
we
you.
get to that? I don't know if we're gonna get to it. If this is any indication, we got a lot of ground to cover.
Okay, okay.
We have just
Um,
so much to talk about. How are we gonna get to it?
okay. So showing you this might be a little overwhelming because it's going to look uh chaotic. It's gonna look chaotic. It just is. But this is specifically for crocheted like garment making. Um, I have glued things in here. It's not too terribly full because I only put things in here where I actually need to like regurgitate what's in my head. Like it's got to get on a piece of paper for me to really understand what I'm doing.
Yeah, math is like that for me. I have to write it down or I
Right.
won't get it.
So this is kind of a slouchy sweater that I had sketched up the shape of. And you see, I've written things all over it. I have like ideas and stuff written on it. And when I finally figured out my stitch, I did a swatch and it's in there along with notes and stuff, even the
Wow.
shapes, kind of how what I want to do.
Uh-huh.
Um, I think I've also written some revision notes in here before, like after I've made the thing, if I want to make it again,
That's
maybe
so
I need to
cool.
take out 3 stitches on one side or
Uh-huh.
decrease more. Um,
After the fact notes, yeah, I do that.
mhm. So this is actually talking about the same project with the sweater. This is the yarn that I chose to go with. It's now
Oh,
discontinued, but um yeah, and I was just writing about how I felt about the yarn, how it draped,
oh wow.
um just really how it felt because I actually have the sweater still that this is referring to. Um this is more I was working with the crocodile stitch, which is a pretty annoying fucking stitch, but uh, it's
Is this the
shaped.
beige sweater? Is it kind of a beige sweater that you have? Is it human size sweater?
No, this is not human size. This is
Oh,
doll
okay.
size. I should have just picked it up. I'll show it to you. Okay, editing Joshy here. So I realized while editing this video that I talked about this sweater and I actually didn't even show you the sweater. This was a rough draft. As you can see here, I made it specifically for the SD13 size. Um, this is the swatch, and this is just like a rough draft of the stitch that I chose to work the sweater up in. And then on this page here, like I was talking about, this is the actual yarn colors and the line that is now discontinued by Lion Brand. And I thought it pertinent to also add that I did finish this on Valentine's Day. So here, let me show you the actual sweater. I'll show it to you off a doll first, and then on a doll. So this is the finished product. Look at that stitch. Nice, nice textured stitch. The body is crocheted along with the sleeves, and then the um, the brim here and the neck has been knitted. I believe in what, a 1x1? Yeah, like a 1x1 rib. Yeah. So this is what it looks like off of a doll. I did like some nice balloon sleeves, more texture. So cute. And then I'll put it on the doll and show you. All right, and here we have it. Big and slouchy, lots and lots of texture. I made it big enough where you could layer it as well because he still got on a t-shirt and everything underneath this. Yeah. Yep. Back to the interview. This was when I was working on the a dress for Patty Clay Pal. This was like the colors and the shapes and stuff that I
Oh,
was going for.
oh, that's so helpful.
Yeah. So the only time I use stuff like here, I'll show you this.
Wow.
So this is kind of like the shape that I wanted,
Uh-huh.
but I was also playing around with like an under bust kind of like belt, maybe
Uh-huh.
even corsetry at some point,
Mm-hmm.
makeup ideas, color swatches, just anything that could help me get closer to the actualization of whatever it is I was making. It kind of went on this paper, and then this was in a sketchbook, so I ripped it out and glued it in here because I felt
Right.
like it went in here.
Yeah.
So
So
this will
you're a
probably,
designer. That's what it
yeah,
looks like. You're a designer.
yeah, for sure. This will look familiar to you.
Oh yeah. I have
So
like 3 dozen of those.
yeah, so this is like the conception of the Comfy Cardi, and then what I was writing about it, you know, and this is before I even decided to actually write out what is this? Oh, these are my notes from the Mini More romper.
Oh.
So
Is
I
this
just stuffed
like,
them in here.
is it not the audio like what you're saying in the video, but just notes,
Oh no, it's not. This is
not
not.
transcript, I guess is.
These are the steps. These are the actual steps for each size. So
Wow.
this says the mini more romper. So this is the standard one, and
You
then
wrote it
this
out by hand.
by
Like
hand. Yeah,
this is different. Uh,
yeah,
it's different than typing it out, right? It
yeah.
sticks differently or the process is different.
The process for me, well, writing it out helps me get really intimate with my details.
Uh-huh.
I it just it does it sticks better. You
Yeah.
know, so if a person were to come to me and say, "Hey, I made the mini more romper and it keeps coming out too big," I immediately go, "Did you use a 1.25 millimeter hook?" Like, and it's because I wrote it like six
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
So this was the normal one. This is the one for Dollmore Trinity, and this is
Yay.
the one for Smart Doll. So
That's so cool. Well, I know all of these. I've made all of these, and I can't thank you enough for sharing your pattern form, especially the cardigan changed fundamentally kind of how I crocheted. And like the stuff that I started with was doilies, right? Long time ago when my mom taught me how to crochet. So when I got into trying to crochet stuff for dolls, it was just it was a whole journey. And to find a pattern like this where you laid it out so clearly and the video was such a joy to watch because of your personality and it was a comfort to work it up. It was easy and straightforward, and you could kind of get in the zone. I just love that cardigan. Thank you so much for sharing that. I've made so many, so many of my dolls are wearing that cardigan. I'm
well,
pointing at my displays here, so
that's great. See, and that's another reason why all of my patterns are free because my connection to crochet, I've been around it forever. And I didn't really take a whole lot of interest into it until I realized that I could connect the craft to my doll collecting.
That's why I'm
You
interested.
know, exactly. Like that's how I could have picked it up and really gone places with it years ago. But it wasn't until I got my doll Jory here and he was like, I need you to crochet
Uh-huh.
and knit me everything, or I'm not going to be happy. That's when I was like, right, I could just make this stuff. And that's that connection. And then the rhythmic zoning out of just getting
Mm-hmm.
into a good project is so important. So if people ask me for a pattern, I will give it to you. Like
Oh,
I'm not going to gatekeep joy. You know what I mean?
I know this is getting into like some, I don't know what the word is, but like I feel like the most important thing in the entire world is sharing information and like being able to teach. Like I wish I could be a teacher. That would be like the ultimate, the most important thing. The like the whole point of a lot of my online presence is like I want to share this information, what I'm doing and how, and it's just like so not spiritual, but something along those lines. Like it's so important. It's like the whole meaning of life to me
Yeah.
is to teach and to share these things. So yeah, you're right. You're right in the groove. I'm so grateful to you for sharing this stuff. Um,
It feels fulfilling for me. Like, cause I mean, my hobby is such a important part of my life. Being able to share it feels fulfilling. I learned that about myself through my Flickr days. Back when Flickr was where doll collectors would go to post their pictures specifically, um, seeing everybody else do such cool things with their dolls and broadening my own horizon,
yeah,
sharing that became a big part of my enjoyment. Like I
that's
was no
right.
longer alone.
Yeah, yeah. And with somebody who uses what you were able to share with them, it's like the best feeling. Like, oh, I helped.
Mhm.
I love it. And when somebody makes the pattern, yeah. Sometimes I share a pattern and nobody makes it, and I'm like, well, but still, the
I
information's out there.
I have the pattern for the hat with the hat.
Oh yeah.
That's
Well,
on
I
your
didn't
living
make
room.
that. But yeah, I love that
I want to
hat.
make one. I specifically want to make one for my little clown that you sent me.
I
Or
feel like you could do yeah, yeah, I think I ended up did I send it to Dolls Ahoy and she sent it to you or something? Something
yeah,
happened with that faceplate, but I know what doll you're talking about.
yeah.
But the rabbit ear hat, oh my God, it's just like ripe for you to accessorize. Like I want to see it with a shit ton of pom-poms,
Yep.
and I think it'll be perfect. It'll be perfect, and you'll get addicted to it because it's such an easy, straightforward. You can zone. You can get in the zone with it. I hope you
Nice.
like it anyways.
Yeah.
I was, yeah, back when I did that romper, like it wasn't my pattern, but just like the fact that you were also interested in it and made a bunch of those rompers, I was just like, yay, that was
Mhm.
so great. I loved that.
It
I loved it.
works up so nice too. And it truly does look good on every doll that I put it on though.
Yeah,
I love it.
excessive waste, man. It makes it work with so much stuff.
This is good.
Thank you for sharing your crochet notes. It really solidified the idea that I need to be doing this more, writing it out manually, because I like my notes were so bad when I was in the middle of a project, just like loose leaf or a post-it note here or there, and I lost them immediately. Or even worse, I started trying to do like a Word doc, not a Word doc, but like a document on my phone, a
Hmm.
digital one, and it just does not stick, and I
Hmm.
can't. Yeah, so thank you for that concept. I'm gonna try. I need to get out a journal and try like scrapbooking and putting everything together in there because it turned into such a beautiful art piece. Like now you have textiles in there and your sketches. I'm not a designer and I'm not like I don't sketch.
Wait,
And
you think this looks like art?
yes,
Really?
yeah, all your
This
stuff
looks
is so artistic.
th- this it looks like word vomit to me, but I really appreciate
No,
it.
it's like an inspirational, I don't know, when it's a collage, it's still art or not still art, but yeah, collage type thing, or especially I love it if it has a bunch of different textures. So like when you put your swatches in there, I freaking love it. And if you ripped something out of another journal or a sketchbook and the texture is different on that paper, and now it all
Hmm.
goes in there and it's got all your words on it, is important.
Yeah,
I really like that. I'm gonna try it. I will try it. I'm not artistic like that, but I think
a,
it'll
li-
stick.
a little bit of transparency because I don't want you to think that I'm not using any other tools. The mini more romper, um it was written, or it was written in the notes on my phone.
Yeah, that's
I initially wrote it out on my phone when I initially created it. Because when I first created it, I didn't think I was going to share it. But then I think her screen name is Aquarius something. I can't remember her screen name right now. But she was like, I have this SD size doll and I know you crochet. Can you share something? And I was like, oh, I have just a thing. And then that's when I started writing it out on paper because I needed to work out the kinks to make sure everything added up properly and for the testers, which he was one of the testers. So yeah, I mean it's all over the place. I have been at work where I'm supposed to be writing down something very pertinent to someone's health. And I'm like, I think I should add 6 more stitches to this row.
doing both. You could do both. Yeah,
I
I mean
should
the phone is so
increase 3 more
convenient.
times.
It's a great tool to put notes on it and it's always there, and thank goodness it's got a camera, so like I take more pictures now than ever before. But I
Mhm.
do think that having that notebook, the style that you do it is going to be more beneficial. Plus it's just nifty to have it then after that. You started doing video game videos for a little bit there, so I know that you're a gamer. Do you
Mhm.
have video game dolls, or is there much crossover between video game hobby and your doll hobby?
Privately, yes. Publicly, no, not so much. I have a gaming area. Both myself and my husband were pretty avid gamers. I love video games. It's another one of the places where I get to escape. Um, so I've got dolls that I keep in my gaming area because in my mind they are gamers. Like I bought the LOL OMG Powerpuff Girl set.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and in my mind, these are girls that love the Powerpuff Girls, but they play video games. In my mind. So
Okay.
they're in the
They're
gaming.
modern.
Right. And then I've got my Coraline up there because I feel like Coraline plays video
Okay.
games.
Uh-huh.
Um, I do have a smart doll. She's way up there. She's a gamer. She comes back in here because she feels more like a doll, but that does happen. I mean, I'm wearing this is all Mario. This is
Yeah.
Mario, like
Yeah. Oh, it's so cute.
yeah, so video game stuff definitely crosses over with my doll world. Like I have this 3D printed doll that I got from Resin Rose. His name is Socket, and he's an object head doll. So his head is a TV screen or
Okay.
a
Yeah.
monitor. And my idea in getting him was to have him be sort of like the ambassador to the video games, but a way to like a vehicle to show my doll people because that's the hard part for me. Trying to like I'm all over the place because I love so much. Trying to show people the things that I care about, but also try and do it in a way that marries it to another of my hobbies. It seems seamless to me in my mind, but it's difficult to get the people that are here already to also engage, you know, because like I did post a couple of gaming videos, but I've stopped because I got the feeling that I was imposing on the
Mm.
people that were a part of the channel. Same thing with like anime. I mean, I a huge anime and manga fan, and I do know that there are doll collectors that also like all of this other stuff, but people have this, I want to say maybe it's the younger generation. I don't think it's my generation per se. I think it's the younger people, they feel like everybody is supposed to be neatly cataloged somewhere.
Okay.
And being a human being that loves so much, being a layered person, it's difficult to catalog because you can't rip yourself apart for one shelf and
Hmm.
another. You are an entire unit.
Hmm.
Um, so that is kind of hard to convey on social media because people that are chronically online want you to neatly fit somewhere.
Okay.
And so what that looks like to me is that I'm talking to you on my doll channel about a video game that I love, and you're going to click away because you're not here for that. You have cataloged me as the doll person. He needs to talk about dolls, or
Yeah.
because people even do that within our community. You get
Yeah.
people that are doll people, but they're a maker, they're
Yeah.
a creator of some sort, and because they're in the doll world, but a creator, people have neatly packaged them and put them somewhere. So if they talk about anything else, no one's listening. That's what it looks like and feels like. So Socket was supposed to be like a doll, and then I could like edit his face, his screen to show video games that I'm currently playing.
Oh, that's
And yeah, I think it's a cute idea. I still want to do it. I just haven't taken that plunge. Yeah.
yeah. It's you have a whole lot of energy and joy and a lot of things, so it's a little unusual for me to see you seem so hesitant. You seem hesitant about the video game aspect of your channel, and
I am hesitant,
yeah,
like 100%. Like before I even made the first video game video, I, I'm okay. So I've been in some gaming spaces that haven't been welcoming to women, and I never want to be anywhere that's not welcoming to women, you know? And I've just seen how people can be if you're not easily cataloged, you know? And so I was afraid of that. But it was some doll people that was like, we love video games, make the fucking video. So I made it. And then when I made it, I did feel a huge weight off of my shoulders where it's like, yeah, my doll people now know I play video games. This is great. So in that aspect, I love that, but I'm still pretty hesitant because this space has to remain safe for my doll people. Like it has to. It has to. That is very important to me because most of my friends are queer folks. Most of my friends are women. I cannot create a space, a little tiny space online, and it not be safe for them. So that's something that I worry about because what if I make a video game video and it does really well, and then all these toxic people come in and start fucking with my doll folks? I don't want that. I don't want that. I do not want that. That's actually one of the biggest reasons why I also made that other channel for my sewing. Because if these people aren't into dolls, they don't understand dolls, but they are here for the crafting and they want to have that conversation. I don't want them to derail like a doll person that's just here for the enjoyment because they're not a sewer or because they're not a video game person. So the hesitation for me comes from this space already being really nice and sweet and safe.
yeah.
People have got to have that. I need
Yeah,
that. It's
it's so
important.
precious. It's so
Yeah.
important and precious. Yeah, the
Hmm.
community online. I often wonder, like, what's going to happen if Tumblr goes under, and I can't lose that community. So, like, I don't know, the fear of messing up that community is. I get it. I get it.
Hmm.
That sounds scary, but I'm so glad that you did. You are always so vocal on all, like, many of your videos about how you want this to be a safe space for everybody, and it's
Hmm.
really appreciated. I hear you.
And
Appreciate.
see, I I feel like this has turned into you interviewing me, which is funny, but I truly do love my doll people. I do. And I just can't afford to have it messed up because some
Mhm.
people want to, because I do get the vibe as a doll person, the people already see you as some kind of a quack because you're into dolls. Like this is why when doll people are fighting amongst themselves, I'm like, y'all, we collect dolls. Get real. Like, calm down. Like, why are we fighting? We look like the weird ones already. So I don't want people to come into my doll space and be like, oh, y'all are weird. Look at these creepy ass dolls. I will cuss you out. Please don't come over here with that. Like this space has got to stay safe.
Yeah.
So, and because I know that the gaming community is a wonderful one, especially the cozy gaming community, it can still be a slippery slope because unfortunately there are a lot of unfortunately racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, just terrible men specifically, but people that are part of the gaming community. Like, I seen somebody in passing at a convention one time. This girl was talking about Animal Crossing, and this guy, how could you see somebody having such a good time talking about Animal Crossing and
Uh-huh.
come up and shit on that? And that's exactly what he did.
What? What?
He don't
Like
even know
somebody he
this
didn't even
lady.
know?
Yeah, he don't even know that lady. And I was like, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is why my doll space has got to stay safe. So that's where the hesitation comes from.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of this, a little bit of this is wrapping into what being a YouTube creator is. And that's like a whole different animal, right? And
Hmm.
it kind of sounds like you don't have enough control or tools to moderate your, just randos can come in and shit on your poop on your card.
Exactly. Exactly. And the awful thing about that is it's a slippery slope. Like I've been in like a stream where someone's streaming and they're playing a game that they love. It's like a snowball effect. All it really takes is maybe a good amount of people saying something awful. And before you know it, the algorithm has shown all those kinds of people your content,
Okay.
and now
Oh, that's awful.
everybody is shitting
Oh,
on it.
that's awful.
And I've seen it. There's a YouTuber on here named My Lady Confetti. I love her. Her content is so wholesome and sweet. Her space that she's created on YouTube feels so welcoming. Her hair is pink all the time, and her room is so pretty. And I love that she's a woman, and I love that she loves video games, and I love that she's black, and I love that she's so expressive. Like, but people find her work and they're awful to her. I've seen this too many times. I've seen it happen to I love Ann Picaro, but people were nasty to her. They were
Real.
so nasty to her for no fuck. Well, they felt like they had reasons, but people were nasty to her. And I have made it very clear from the beginning of my channel that I'm not Beyonce. I will cuss you the fuck out. Okay? Don't try me. But I also don't want to have to go there because I want people to be able to say, oh, wherever Josh is, I'm welcome because that's who I am.
Yeah.
So yeah, being a YouTuber is you kind of have to weigh your options because I even had some people they ask why haven't I tried to monetize? Why haven't I don't do any of that stuff because that's going to bring a bigger crowd. And people
Okay.
think a bigger crowd is better, but I've also seen bigger crowds be harder to be safe.
Uh-huh.
And it'll completely change the entire ecosystem of the people that you're
Yeah.
trying to be here for.
Yeah.
So
Just seems like we need better moderation tools to be safe. That's just it's not fair that
I don't
if you
think
get
it's fair
more
either.
popular, then crap comes. That's
Yeah.
awful.
I don't know if I want to be popular. I don't
You
want to
seem
be
popular to
popular.
me, but like I would understand. I don't want to be popular myself.
I don't want to be popular because my husband likes to make fun of me about this. I'm not a nice person. I'm a kind person. It's a very different thing. A lot of the people that gravitate towards me are introverted people. I'm not sure why that is, but like I'm not sure why that is because I do
You're
feel like my
collecting
energy
us.
is a lot. Yeah, I swear. I swear. but they're all introverted or they're shy or they're non-confrontational and they're good people. But because they have these things about their personality, people see that as like a means to get over, or they say awful things to them because they know they're non-confrontational. Or and I have always been around these awesome people and I refuse to put up with it. So if you try them, I'm gonna cuss you out. I just am. I just am, but I don't want to have to do that.
Yeah, yeah,
So
exactly. So because of YouTube stuff, like how is video editing for you? Is it another interest of yours, or is it just like a necessary evil to get this information out there, this important, like your
I
video?
s- I secretly, well, I guess not so secretly now, but I secretly wish that I were a videographer. Secretly.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
I love media. I love it. I love it. I always have. Like when I was younger, I used to illegally download anime.
I
And
never did such a thing ever.
but what was funny is I would mix up different anime to create a new story in Windows Media Maker. Like
Really?
I once took a Full Metal Alchemist, uh Revolutionary Girl Utena and Yu-Gi-Oh and mixed it up and made a whole crazy ass movie.
Oh my God. That's so cool. That's cool.
Oh
Can't
God, it
believe
was
that.
ridiculous. It was so wrong. It was so ridiculous. But I love editing. Editing is never an issue for me because I think I enjoy, well, cobbling things together,
Okay.
you know?
I kind of suspected a little bit of that, but because you've also done this photography series, so
Hmm.
not just the videography, but like the editing too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I love
Okay.
editing.
Because for me, having to edit the video after it's made is just a slug. It's just a miserable thing. Like I could never do this. And I kind of suspect that to be a YouTuber, you gotta have a little bit of an interest in also editing videos, which is just an odd Venn diagram. Like you gotta have this
Yeah.
charisma, which you have, and interest and interesting things to say, and like a dull niche. Plus, now you got to edit videos, and this one is going to be a beast. I don't know how many hours we're at now, but it is not a short
Oh
video
no.
that you're going to have to
This
edit.
this'll be fine. It's all one file. It'll be okay. It's fine. It'll be
I
all
can't
right.
believe it's still recording.
I hope it's
That's
still
so
recording.
cool.
Yeah, it is.
I
It's still recording.
I just love that you made your own video. Like how much effort that would take in your own private world to edit like anime together into a news story. That's just
It
that's
was
adorable.
when I showed it to my friends, they all were like, "So what drug are you taking?" Because I mean, I took TV shows and made like feature length films.
It's a
And
labor of love because
like
you
I did love it. I would be like, this is before I got a laptop. This like I was homeschooled, so we had like desktops in the computer room and everything. And this is what I was playing on.
oh
And
you did this on the family computer.
yeah, literally. And I would like I didn't have friends come over often. I didn't have a whole lot of friends growing up. Dolls were my friends. But when they did come over, I would be like, "You have got to see my movie." And they would be like, "What movie?" And I would be like, "It doesn't have a title. Just come in my room."
I'm really surprised that you're homeschooled because you're so outgoing, you have so much charisma, and I was homeschooled for a big chunk of time too, and I have a lot of trauma related to homeschooling.
Oh
So I feel
shit.
like we could really get into that. But I hope that it wasn't as traumatic for you, but it sounds lonely. I'm
My
sorry.
well, I'm the oldest of five, so the house
Okay.
was never
I have
empty.
siblings.
Most of my early academia came from actual public school. My mom didn't put me into homeschooling until, well, technically I was trying to skip over into the sixth grade,
I see.
but because I kept skipping grades, and the
Okay.
school board was like, well, now he's going to be around kids that's way too old for him. And they were,
Okay.
and my mom wasn't having it, so she was like, well, fine, I'll fucking homeschool them. Um, so at home, I just kind of feel like it did get boring because me and my siblings, we were very, like, we needed shit to do, you
Oh, okay.
know?
Yeah.
Like,
Uh-huh.
and I
You're a
had
busy person.
right, like I had my dolls, and this is when mom started actually putting money behind like getting video games and consoles in the house because we needed stuff to do,
Hmm.
and we couldn't just go outside. There were nobody home because we got done with school at 1 o'clock and they were still in school for another
Right.
2 hours,
Yeah.
you know.
Mhm.
Um, so we had interests, like, of course, we had music because we did the same thing that I did with those anime that I legally downloaded with music, where we would remix music in the house.
Wow.
Um, we were playing lots of video games, and we also I read a whole lot because I was really into to manga, and I really loved the Style Network. Oh my God. The Style Network. So the Style Network was a TV channel that was dedicated to fashion and style and design. Oh my God, I lived that channel. It was amazing. Um, so that's what we was doing in the house. The only time it became difficult, it was when you were trying to do stuff with other kids that were in public school because our schedules was just so different. And I think the hard part is also the stigma that comes with being homeschooled. I don't know
Mhm.
why people think homeschool kids are just developmentally stunted for some reason. We're not. Most
Where
of us
I'm
are
not.
smarter than you. Like, most of us are smarter than you. Like, I remember talking to some of my friends that were in high school, and I didn't go to like physical high school, and we would be talking about stuff, and I would be like, ew, why y'all so damn dumb? Like, like,
I'm not, I guess I'm not surprised that you were skipping grades. I'm just surprised that, yeah, I'm surprised that you were homeschooled, but it sounds like for totally different reasons. My
mm.
parents were super religious. So it was a different experience for me, but it sounds like you absorbed so much culture and pop culture on your own terms at your own speed, which I hope it sounds like a better experience.
My mom,
Yeah.
mommy was religious. She was. She homeschooled because she didn't want the the Jacksonville, Florida school board holding us back.
Yeah.
The curriculum was pretty, I don't know what it is now, but when we were coming up, the curriculum just wasn't the best. It was very old and dated anyway. And my mother being in school herself. Like she was actively going to college. She was like, my kids can't enter this academic career with this as their base. So that was one of the reasons she made a very big deal about that. Academia has always been important to my mom, but also she was a techie. Like she was in school for tech. So she was like, my kids are smart and you're making them be like you're punishing them because they're smart. Like what
Yeah.
is that? So that's why she moved towards all that. Also, my mom, she was religious. Um, we went to church a lot, and I definitely was sneaking behind her back looking at certain media that I wasn't supposed to. Like I should not have seen Ninja Scroll as young as I was. I should not have. I don't know if you've ever seen Ninja Scroll, that the anime movie, but it changed me. I've never been the same since. Like, never been the same since.
Mom can't stop you from doing everything.
She didn't. She tried because I remember when she got wind that I was reading Inuyasha, she was like, "So he's a demon?" And I was like, "Yeah, he's a half demon, and his brother is a full demon, and everybody is so mean to him because he's different." And I thought she was gonna be into it. She was like, "You can't read this. This you cannot read about the demons. You can't do this." And so she took the books away, and I was devastated. But then I just borrowed somebody else's.
That's the
Uh,
experience of a religious parents.
yeah.
The same thing. But reading is a huge. an escape. Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you have a current grail?
Yes, and it's sort of embarrassing. It's sort of embarrassing because I've had her already, but I sold her.
I've done that. It's not
S-
embarrassing.
Yeah,
Human
so
nature.
I do have good news about it though. So my grail would be the Dust of Dolls Doom
Oh
Wawa.
no. Oh no.
I had her, I sold her, and I didn't sell her because I didn't bond with her or anything. She was actually my favorite. It was during the pandemic. My husband had been laid off. I couldn't work anymore because I was sick. So I was like scared about money, and I knew that she would get a pretty penny quickly. So I
Yeah.
sold her.
Yeah.
And selling her did help. So her leaving, it did exactly what I needed her to do. But I have been sour about her leaving from the moment she sold. Like I'm not even holding you.
Oh,
Like
that
when
sucks.
sh my husband kept telling me not to, and I just was like, we have to. We've got to eat and we got bills to pay and shit. Like this has to happen, you know?
Yeah.
He was like, don't do it, don't do it. And I was like, we have to, we have to, we have to. I did it. And the moment I seen the PayPal notification, it ain't been right since. Like
Oh.
even while I was packing her, I was pissed. I couldn't even take the box to the post office. My husband had
Oh.
to. I
Oh.
was like, if we, I can't leave this house with her in this box, you
Oh.
know? So he took her to the post office and shipped her off. I've been pissed about it ever since. But as of 3 months ago, she's been on layaway.
Oh, wow, you found one. That is
I
not easy.
it's not easy. And what's even crazy is I found her, started her layaway, lost my job, found a new job, and she's still on layaway. So the
Good.
fact that all this craziness is happening and she's still in my orbit is insane. It's crazy. And then I have her on layaway, and so she should be coming home soon. But the person is in Kentucky. I don't even have to do shipping. We plan to do a meetup, and I get her.
Oh, nice.
Like it was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And like uh, I that just the optics on that is so crazy because
Uh,
when she showed up on eBay, I was like, oh God, I wonder if she'll do a layaway. So then I messaged the lady, and then we ended up communicating. She was like, yeah, I'm fine with the layaway. And then I looked at the posting and I was like, wait, you're in Kentucky? She was like, yeah, I'm in Kentucky. And I was like, I'm in Kentucky. And she was like, oh, cool. We could just do a meetup. And I was like, that's great.
that is great because
And
the
she's also a
neither.
nurse.
Huh, that's a weird coincidence.
Isn't it? I said the
Yeah.
same thing. I was like, she's also a nurse. She's also in Kentucky. She's selling the exact doll that I've been missing this entire time. And it's the same price that I paid for the first one.
Wow, that is
Like,
lucky. That's a lot of luck.
that's what I said. Like, I was talking to court because I ruminated on it for about 3 days because I was like, she's gonna
Oh,
sell
that's
quickly.
gonna sell. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like she's gonna sell quickly. So if she's not here in 3 days, then I wasn't supposed to get her. 3 days go by, she's still there and she doesn't have a bid.
Nice.
So yeah, I was surprised too because she also had her counterpart, Bomi, up as well. Bomi sold, but Wawa hadn't. And I
Wow.
was like, okay, so I'm just gonna message her and see if she'll do a layaway with me. And she was so easy to talk to. Everything's like I've communicated everything this entire time and everything's been fine. And I was laying in the bed talking to my husband and I was telling him about all these coincidences. And he was like, yeah, I think you should just go ahead and start that layaway. Because I was wondering, I was like, should I start this layaway? It would be a bill. Should I, But everything, all those coincidences, I was like, this is wild.
I'm so happy for you. I mean, it's so
Wild.
hard to find a grill. Sometimes
Yes,
it's so hard. And that is not a super common doll. That's
it's not.
fine.
So before you let me go, since she's gonna be coming back in, she was my grail that I've been pining for since I got rid of her. But the grail that's definitely difficult for me to get, and I've just not been in the right place at the right time to get, would have to be a Volks. What is she? A Unos? She's SD size,
Uh-huh.
and she is got all of the beauty of Gentaro Araki just wrapped up into one doll. I've seen this doll 3 times now in person, and she always just I'm just so floored at how beautiful she is. And it makes me wonder why Gentaro Araki hasn't done more SD sized dolls. Like he's done SD sized dolls, obviously. And I mean, I've got my Zero over here, my Zero, love her. But I would have thought with all that beauty, he would have like poured it more into the bigger scale because
Mhm.
as far as his like 1/6 scale, he's got quite like he's really been going in with his fashion size dolls. And then of course all the beautiful sculpts that he's done for the chibi and the standard MSD size girls. I just love Gentaro Record. One of these days, I would love to hug that
Mhm.
person.
Yeah.
I would love
Yeah.
to meet them.
And
I would
he's
love to
like,
meet them.
he seems like he works so hard. He's got
Hmm.
his own web shop, and as far as I could tell, he's like filling this stuff personally,
Yeah,
doing face ups and
and he does.
working hard.
And I really enjoy the consistency of not just the quality, but the consistency of his aesthetic. Like
Yeah.
his aesthetic is it's become so timeless and synonymous with BJDs in a way because he's still doing fur wigs. These dolls still feel just as precious as they did in yesteryear. Every person that's owned they never can have just one. It's like I love everything that he does. And then his fashion size dolls, they slide right into like the Momoko and like the higher end fashion dolls, but they
Mhm.
still feel like Gentaro Araki had
They
something to
do.
do with them.
Yep.
And I just think he's outside of Volks, because I think I have like 3 companies that I just adore. It would
Yep.
be Let's, well, no, I guess it would be, in this particular order, it would be, Volks, Let's. Yeah, those are my top 3.
So to have the one that crosses over Volks and you
Hmm.
yeah, you gotta keep your eyes peeled. When it
You
comes
get
up,
it.
you have to like do everything to grab one.
They go quick. The
They
last
go.
one I seen come up, and she was for I think she was only like 650, which I think is a really good price.
That's a really good price for one.
Yeah, she was a really good price. I couldn't even get into the DMs, and then when I went back and looked at the DMs when she finally responded to me, she was like, "I'm sorry, somebody already claimed her."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
immediately gone.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just can't believe that your eBay thing was still there. Every time I see one like on eBay, my heart drops. Like, can I click it fast enough? If it's a
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's scary. And
Yeah.
forums are worse because you got to wait for them to message you back, and you just
Yeah.
never know like how many messages they already have. That's rough.
Yeah.
That's well, I will send you this Rowan, and I think that you will be pleasantly surprised. She is different than the Zero.
Mm-hmm.
She's I don't know, curvier and feels good in the hand and um more organic posing, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like. She's just very charming. I think that you'll like her. Um
I um
it is
I've
like the
never
universe.
handled I've never handled her. I have seen her at I think Resin Rose. Somebody had one. I've seen it, but
They
I've never handled.
they're just lovely and they're such a good price because he's still got his web shop going. Like you can buy one directly from him, but
Hmm.
you have to have it shipped like through a secondary.
Yeah.
But it's a good price. So if you fall in love with them, at least they're available.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God, this has been fun.
Yeah.
This has been so
Thank you for
fun.
having me. Thank you for doing this call. I'm so glad to get to talk to you.
I'm happy that I spoke to you too. I'm sorry that this became you interviewing me.
I had a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions.
I
So
I
that's not even all of them. We'll get to more later. Another.
I intended to interview you, but I didn't have any questions. I didn't have any questions. I was just gonna let it happen organically.
Yeah,
But
I think it's better that way.
I love this. I love this communicating that we just did. I think that before I let you go, I just want you to know, and I want it to be on the record. I want people to know I love your collection. I think everything that you do is so charming and fun and colorful.
Thank
Oh,
you.
I really, you have, I'm actually not sure what she is. I think she might be sepia and Unoa, and I think she's purple. That every time I see her, I'm just like, this doll is just so beautiful. That I was going to ask you if you could show the class the her because I just think she's so beautiful and she's come up in conversations to other people before. Like
Huh. I
I
wonder.
because I have like I've collected the Unoa 2.0 for so many years. I have parts that have
Uh-huh.
come with other dolls, and
Uh-huh.
I was just talking to another collector where I was like, I might actually be able to create another scraps if I can find just I need another set of feet. But if I can find some feet, I'll be able to make a whole nother doll from more scraps. And it came up, your doll came up because I was like, I might dye some of these parts to be purple.
I would love it if you did that. There's
Yeah.
some drawbacks to a dyed doll. Like I'm always a little bit scared if she touches another doll, will it rub off? But I mean, if you put fixative on it, it should be fine. And like
Hmm.
the clothes, if she wears clothes, I'm always like, I don't really want to put those on a different white-skinned expensive doll in case the purple rubs off.
Hmm.
But yeah, there's something about the brilliance that you can achieve with some dyes that I feel
Hmm.
like resins don't achieve. Like the resins yellow too quickly, purple resins in particular.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
yellow too quickly. So
Hmm.
if you dye one, I'm sorry I don't have a pair of feet, but yeah, I'll go get her. But she photographs better than she is in person. In person, she's very streaky. Like
Hmm.
all of the drawbacks that you can get with a dyed doll I have with this doll. But she
Hmm.
just in I kind of feel like the photographs, putting her out there and sharing her is more important than the physical doll itself. So like the streakiness doesn't bother me if I can take a good picture and other people are inspired. I just
She's
don't want
inspiring.
I just don't want you to think that like that it's without its drawbacks, I guess, because she's streaky, very streaky. And she is, of course, wearing the many more romper in the dress style
Oh,
from
look at her.
from the pattern testing that I did for you.
Oh God, she's so pretty. Now, is her body Limois or is it
Yep,
sepia?
it's Limois.
Oh God, she's so pretty. I love this doll so much.
This is a face up I did myself, and I am not a face up artist. And I feel like some of these choices just I got lucky with. But like the color of her lips is so unusual.
She, well, you know what? Okay, so you remember we were talking about me being into like anime and stuff.
Uh-huh.
There's a anime called Red, is it called Red Garden? I think it's called. And the art style is very stylized. You can tell that the person that did the art for the show was into fashion.
Okay.
Your girl reminds me a little bit of that aesthetic mixed in with the aesthetic of an anime named Nana. And that person also was into fashion and stuff.
Yes.
So
Okay.
so to me she feels like a fashion girly. Like she feels like a fashion girly in some kind of fantastical world. And I just love that she's purple's my favorite color. So I love that she's purple. I whenever I think about your collection, she comes to mind and all of your hybrids and the use of color. Like you have a knack for use the way you use color. I love it. I love it.
Thank you. I'm trying to get better at using like primary colors because I feel like the doll world is very saturated with pastels and pinks, and I love pastels and pinks, but I'm trying to go in a different direction
Hmm.
and be more colorful.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is inspired by you too, so it's like a inspiration back and forth because your stuff is super colorful and
Oh
cheerful
God.
and fun.
Yeah. You know what? While sewing recently, I was like, I use the rainbow a lot. Like a lot. Because you see people when they make stuff and they'll choose like a palette. And I wish I could do that because I feel like my palette is literally every color I can find, which ends up being the rainbow. But it's like people will choose like three different shades of red and they'll make something really pretty and it'll be like monochromatic, but still like
Huh?
there's depth. And I'm kind of over here like, well, I put pom-poms on something that was rainbow themed. So
It's good. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of design work that you designer types do, and I'm not a designer, so I don't know. I take a heavy influence or inspiration from something, and I tend to make the thing that I saw
Mhm.
instead of designing something myself, which I'm trying to get better at because like I don't want to rip off people, but
I
like
didn't
I'm not very creative that way.
I've always admired the way that you go about making things, like the way that you explain it, because I always felt like the way that I was going about things was so like chaotic, because that really I've come to understand that designing is a skill now. But kind of what that's what the design brain is. It is chaos because all of your information, well, all of my information is coming from so many different places. You
Uh-huh.
know, I'm being inspired by life, I'm being inspired by other people, I'm being inspired by nature, I'm being
Mm-hmm.
inspired by failures. Like I don't think
Mm-hmm.
how many people realize how much I'm inspired by what I messed up, you know?
Uh-huh.
Like and so I value failing because that's also how I mean, the way that I created the comfy cardi was because I messed up another cardigan idea for me, you know? And after I messed up like in the sleeves for myself, I decided to make one on a smaller scale. And then I changed some stuff and I changed some stuff and I changed some stuff. And then the comfy cardi was created, you know? So, and so that design brain thing, I guess I realize it's a talent now, but I, I used to stop and be like, why can't I just do the thing? Like, why can't I just do the thing
Uh,
like other people can do? You know,
Everyone's different. Everyone's process is different. But I'm very interested in the show that you were talking about, the channel that was like a fashion channel that you were just obsessed with as a kid. Like I'm very interested in that and wonder how it impacted you and like how your designing process is now because of that show, maybe.
the Style Network. You know what? I think its biggest impact was I don't know what they're doing today because I think they're still a network. I just don't have cable TV, like because everything is subscription based now. But the Style Network, all of the shows that would come on, these stylists, they were very interested in not so much fashion, but style. They the fashion was there, but the fashion was used as a tool to bring out this person. Like they were trying to take what's unique about you and chop up, cut up, resew, restyle, figure out what the visuals will look like based off of what you bring to the table. That's one of the biggest things that I've taken away from all of the stuff that I watch, even from America's Next Top Model. That show was fucking crazy. But one of the things that stuck out was that they would be interested in where these girls were coming from, what they could bring to the table, who they were, and what that might look like on runway. So that's sort of where I am now, because I'm out here in Kentucky and I wear a lot of colors because everything I make is a rainbow. I can't help it. And they asked me, oh, you're so brave. How do you pull off so many colors? And I know for myself, I don't think I'm pulling anything off. I think what you're just seeing is that I'm comfortable, you know, because being authentic is pretty important to me. So the comfort comes from the authenticity. So I just put on whatever I feel like it. And you think
Good.
I'm doing this thing, but really it's just me being comfortable. That was something that I learned from the Style Network. They wanted people to embrace their weird. So I loved the Style Network. I would watch this show called The Clean House, where it would be a stylist, somebody that worked in carpentry or something. They would find people, their houses were like hoarder houses or
Oh.
like just dirty, and they
Mhm.
would clean it up. And while they were cleaning it up, they had an interior decorator or designer, and the things that he would find, he would turn into like curated collections to then go into their homes.
With their own stuff.
Yeah, with their own stuff. So he actually had a woman on there. She was a huge Barbie doll collector.
Oh. Oh.
This episode both pissed me off and made me happy at the same time because they
Okay.
sold so much of her collection. That
Okay.
that's how they would get the money to renovate these people's homes. They
Okay.
would come
So,
in, clean up, get the valuable stuff, sell the valuable stuff, and then
okay.
do the renovation. So she
Okay.
had a house cluttered with dolls. Now, to
Okay.
me, it doesn't seem like clutter. To me, it seems like a museum and the house needs to be bigger. But they took all of her dolls and they did a yard sale type situation and they sold so much of her dolls. And not the collector, the designer went to the woman and was like, I need for you to pick out some dolls that you absolutely cannot get rid of. They must stay in your home. And then we will use those and we will renovate with them. We'll decorate them. We'll make them art pieces in the home.
Okay.
So they redid the whole house, cleaned up the whole house. It was an amazing transformation. But then there was like a centerpiece with the dolls that she absolutely needed.
Um,
And like that episode, I almost cried. Like I was angry because they were selling her collection.
there's a lot going on.
Yeah, but then I was so like, oh, look what they've done with the ones that she had to keep.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I
That's a
love the
lot.
Style Network.
That's a
Yeah, it
lot
was
to
like
process.
it was, and I think I was like a teenager and I was like losing my mind. I was like, they're selling her shit. Stop selling her
Right.
stuff. Yeah.
But
Um,
sounds like at least they took a little more care than some of the hoarder shows. Like I cannot watch them because they're so harsh on the person who's obviously suffering.
mhm.
Like,
Yeah, they're pretty visceral, which is an issue for hoarding because some people feel like hoarding is a personal failure, but it's not.
right.
It's something that somebody is suffering from. Those people don't want to be in the situation that they're in,
Right,
you know.
exactly.
Which is why I don't call my collecting hoarding. And I feel like as doll people, we've got to stop saying that. You have you seen
Uh,
that?
yeah. Well, I'm sure I've used it myself because it's kind of a casual, yeah, use of the word, but I understand. Yeah, it's a problem and not just
My best friend, she says she's like, I'm trying not to be a hoarder. I'm like, you're not, you're a collector. Your things are curated. You specifically want to collect just this. You're it's curated.
there's getting to be a blurred line, and like I said, after COVID or during the pandemic, really, when I acquired maybe more than I'm comfortable with, and now I feel like my shelves are too full, and now there's a line where like I couldn't control the acquisition.
Can okay, I know we're supposed to be trying to go, but I got another question for you. I got another question for you because this is interesting because I don't think I have this. So you do feel like you have too much at some point. So when does that feeling become like serious for you? And have you reached that point yet? Like what's collecting feel like to you? Because for me, my collecting doesn't have like a stopping point. I'll be doing this forever. You know, like I said, like if my room gets too small, it's time for another house. You know? You know?
At various times, I felt like there was. I was way over a stopping point, and then at various times I haven't felt like there was really a stopping point. So it varies for me year to year, or season of my life to season of my life.
Hmm.
When I lived in a small apartment, I really only wanted a handful, and it's just varied over time. And right now I think it's probably the space issue. Once the visuals get overwhelming, then I don't like it as much. But there have been times when I really wanted like a very sparse shelf display that was very white and
Hmm.
that aesthetic. And right now it's the opposite of like a maximalist display. My displays over there are just crammed full of colors, and that makes me happy right now. So it has changed over time. But there is this technique that I came across for it was really to help guide what type of artwork you wanted to focus on and do going forward. But the technique was so helpful to me in doll collecting, and it was to place all of your objects, it was art in their case, in a circle.
Mm.
So it wasn't like line them up and just give me your top five, because I find that impossible to like who is number one. I don't know. But if
Right.
it's a circle, you have like several number ones, right? And it's a
Hmm.
whole big circle. And I laid out all my dolls on the floor in a circle of like the ones that meant the most to me, or the ones that I wanted to do more like that going forward. And then the ones at the bottom were like, I think maybe their time with me is over and I'm not as into whatever that aesthetic was, or the type of doll or whatever. And so I had this giant circle on the floor, and I was able to refer back to a photograph of that over the years of like, okay, which ones would I be willing to let go of first? And which ones do I want to do more work like that on? And like the dyed dolls were towards the top because they're so unique. I like a
Hmm.
unique doll. I like something that I worked on myself personally, and I'm terrible at face ups, but like every time I do one, I connect with that doll more.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think that space is really the factor that makes the feeling come and go of whether I have too much or have not enough. And right now, I have this giant room. It's a little unusual. I feel like it's like close to the entryway of the house, and it's a main room on the main floor of the house. So
Hmm.
when people come through, it is unusual. It's full of dolls. It's crammed full, and like I've been very lucky that the people around me were very supportive, or at least, never said anything bad about my doll collecting hobby. I mean, the most my mom has ever said was like this summer, and I was like in an emotionally fragile time, and she just said, "So what are you gonna do with the craft room?" And I was like, "What do you mean, what am I gonna do with the craft room? It's my craft room. I'm gonna
Oh,
keep it like it is."
yeah, you should keep it. It's
I,
so
I think
beautiful.
Yeah, I think I might just be having like too many dolls on a shelf for her comfort level, but she's just not like she's not calling me out on it or anything, and nobody in my life does. My husband is very kind about what my interests and hobbies are. And a lot of people don't really like dolls.
Hmm.
Like my kids, my daughter in particular did not like dolls. She has never, not a baby doll, not a Barbie doll, not a BJD,
Hmm.
never been into dolls. She does not like them. Like not just not into them, but actively, she doesn't like anything that has eyes that is like looking at her.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
she's also like, she's just always been really nice about it. And I think that other people's perception of you impacts whether you feel like you have too much, whether you feel like, and looking at other people's collections has impacted my perception of what is a big collection. Because like people online have a shitload of dolls,
Yeah.
and they're proud of their collections, and that changed my perception of like feeling maybe like a little guilty about it, to feeling like, all right, I'm trying to put lots of concepts out there, colorful, fun things, art. Everything is like wrapped into me to the doll form, and
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm just trying to make it a positive thing and not.
I love your take on it because I feel like you're right. I do feel like it's perception,
Mm,
because I have had both the horror and the delight of going into a collector's house post uh uh like death. Seeing estates.
mhm.
both those people, their entire home was essentially a doll room. It wasn't it wasn't hoarder level stuff. It's just that vintage dolls are bigger
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
they take up a heck of a lot of space. And these people dedicated their life to being collectors, and their collection is their whole home. And
Uh-huh.
I've seen it, and it's like a museum. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Um,
Play is different with vintage.
yeah. So one thing that one thing that kind of was like a hang up for me when I met my husband, first off, my husband has always been so gosh darn supportive, even when I don't want him to be. You know, he's so supportive and he's been so accepting ever since he first found out that I was a doll collector. I initially thought he was going to be weirded out and I wasn't going to care, but he was like fascinated. So, he's always been so supportive, but also my husband is a yes man. He's not going to tell me no. He won't tell me no. Like he doesn't have a limit. He won't tell me no. He has a limit, but he won't tell me no. So my task has been seeing how he responds. He's going to say yes. I have to make sure that I understand that when he's saying yes and when he's saying yes, you know, like
To
and
read the
I
micro expressions.
right. And I know that now because Corey won't, like, he won't say no. And he loves my dolls, but I know he's scared of my Patty Play pals. I know he is. So I keep all of my dolls in, like, the dolls that are in my gaming space are smaller and they look like cartoons. So they're not unnerving because they look fantastical. I try and keep my doll stuff into one room, and that kind of makes me feel okay, but I never feel like ever over encumbered because, like I said, I know doll collectors where their whole home is their collection, and then they have like storage units with more
Uh-huh.
dolls in it.
Hmm.
And so, I don't know. I I also kind of think that maybe we're a little hard on ourselves, and it does have something to do with people's families looking at them have a have a hobby but not see it as a hobby. They see it as you could be doing something better, or do you really need this? Or um I've had some friends where it's like their parents are pretty shitty towards their collection because they feel like they're wasting money. But it's like if I'm taking care of my responsibilities and then with my play money I choose to buy
Yeah.
dolls, there should not be a problem. Leave me alone. So I think that's cool. I love your doll room though. I love your dolls.
You gotta come over sometime and we'll hang out.
I would love to. Maybe
We'll
I'll
end up
bring
taking everything off the shelves, put
I'll,
everything on the floor.
yeah, I'll bring some yarn and we'll make some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, this is so nice. I want for you to go ahead and tell the doll people goodbye. Just wave at the doll
Hi,
people.
guys.
I know it's been a while since I've done a community spotlight, but I have not abandoned this series. I'm still doing it, mainly because I feel like it's totally needed and it gives us all a place to kind of convene and talk about doll shit without it being too pretentious to get in, really. And I just love talking doll shit with doll people. It was just on a back burner for a little bit, mainly because people's schedules kept getting in the way, along with my schedule being kind of unaccommodating. So the way that we're kind of going to do this series is just we kind of get in when we can get in and then I'll just post it. So I don't have a designated time frame or anything because I want to be able to talk to people when they can talk. So this video was fun. I really enjoyed our conversation. I think Tara's collection is amazing. I know I harped about it a lot because her collection is just filled with so much color and charm, and then all of the hybrids. Like there's a sense of whimsy that's just indelible. It's amazing. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to find more of her work, you can find her at the Queen of Squids on Instagram. And I believe that's the handle for everywhere she's at. And just give her a follow. Look at some of her cute dolls. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. I asked Tara to give us a small little tour of her doll area, and my God, am I blown away. So I had to add it to the video to share with all of you. Enjoy.